What is going on, guys? Thanks for coming in early. We are in our pre-show right now. Just kind of kicking back, saying hello to everyone. If you're a content creator, feel free to shout out your content during this pre-show. But just want to say hello to everyone. I am sleepy right now, but we're going to do our best to make the most of this show. Hello to you. We got Roger. I see Mindy up there somewhere. And Matthew. So hello to all three of you. And James Barker of the Barker Boys. Always happy to have you, buddy. Matthew says, I am here. Feels like forever since I've been here. It says slow mode on. What is that all about? It basically means that you're only allowed to leave one comment every 10 seconds. And it's just basically to stop like spamming and bulking. But we haven't had any issues with it yet. I'm just trying to get everyone like used to the idea. And eventually, like if we get to a point where we have, 200 or 300 people watching, like some of the other streamers out there, we'll increase that time to like 20 seconds or 30 seconds. So that way each person can get their voice heard and it's not too overwhelming for me to try and read everything or keep up with everything. We also have the super chats available too. So if you want to get like priority placement on your comments, but that's a whole nother thing. Hello to you, Fat Girl Sewing. Thank you for tuning in as well. Always happy to have you. And we got a chit chat too. I want to check out some of your content, see what we might be able to do together. That might be kind of cool. So, hello to everyone. Like I said, I am sleepy today, guys. I'm gonna have to fake it till I make it when the show starts. That's for sure. We have a huge show tonight. And hopefully my energy will be reflective of the show that we're gonna have tonight. So everyone have a good week? Did everyone give it that extra push like we talked about last week? We are going to be coming full circle on that as well. Ice on my feet will wake me up. I don't think I want ice on my feet, but I appreciate the suggestion. And Matthew, I don't think I've seen you here in, God, what's it been, 4 weeks? 5 weeks? So, yeah, now we have this little pre-show with this cool little animation that I made for the background. I've learned a heck of a lot about editing since I last saw you. And all of these effects and everything were all hand-built by me, so I'm really proud of that. Even the animation and the movement was all hand-constructed, so it's something that I've been working on, trying to get a little better at. And I've also decided that I'm putting more into the outro. So every week, I'm going to keep revising that outro. And this week's outro is no different. I added more to it. And even the trailer for the eBay Revealed, I had a couple of people, including Roger and Pam and Rachel and Sean and Corey. They were granted private screening to be able to see it a little bit early. And I actually edited it again. I wasn't happy with the final product, so I did it one more time. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. The critique was fantastic too. The suggestions that I got, and then I kind of stepped back and I looked at it and I'm like, what would I need to do to make it so that way people who didn't know what was going on were better able to follow everything that was happening in it. What's going on, Adam's Exploits? We got to connect up together too. We gotta chit chat off air sometime as well. I appreciate everyone who's come in early for a little pre-show. Nice little kickback, relax time. Enjoy some good tunes. Evening to you as well, Tim Russell. Always a pleasure to have you. Thank you to you and all the other patrons for being a part of this. Man, I gotta wake up, guys. And I've been trying. I drank some coffee. I ate some like good food. Maybe I do need some ice. Adam says, yes, I need to learn OBS now that I need 1K subs to go live on mobile. Did they make that a mandate now? Somebody was talking to me about that. I don't know if it was you, but somebody was talking to me saying that there's a minimum now, 1K subs, or that they were going to be trying to do that, but I hadn't heard that it was official yet or anything. Wow, they did make it official. You know, here's the thing. I'm kind of a fan of the idea, and I know that sounds horrible, but I know it's partly in response to what happened in New Zealand, and I get that, I totally get that, but at the same time, I think there should be higher levels of standards as far as live content is concerned. I think part of it should be maybe not allowing creators to go live if they haven't maybe uploaded 20 videos, or maybe haven't a conjunction of 20 videos and being on the platform for 60 days and actually showing channel growth, maybe putting in some type of other metric to unlock it. I think 1,000 maybe is a little bit high. I would say maybe 100. Like if you can get your first 100 subs and you've earned them organically, maybe you have a way to track it, then that might be viable. And hello again, Roger. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. You're gonna get priority placement on the screen now at the bottom. I appreciate that. It goes to the grand total. Oh, and here's another thing, guys. I didn't know this, and thank you, Roger. I really appreciate it. If you are a YouTube Red subscriber, you get 2 $1 super chats per month that you get to give away for free. So if you'd like to give them to me, I would appreciate it. Adam's at 568. Can anyone go help Adam out? Adam needs 432 subscribers. If we could just have 432 people just jump over there right now, go help the guy out. It'd be really appreciated. I'm going to be right back in 1 second, guys. You guys chit-chat amongst yourself. Give me 1 moment.
To and fro it floats in the light of the sky like a water lily, and fades on the blue flood of day. A star is adrift and free. When day comes, it floats into space like a spirit amazed in a wider paradise.
The other thing too, Matthew, I forgot to mention this earlier, is that we changed the set. I don't know if you noticed that too. We have a whole new set arrangement. Before we were using the green screen, I think like a month and a half ago. I don't know if you were around then, but yeah. And Adam, do me a solid too, okay? Do your boy a favor. Shout out my content on your channel. Full circle. We have a video that's coming out tonight. And I'm just going to say this now. I'm going to need everyone's help. Everyone's help to make sure that it gets as many views as possible. It's a big deal. Like to the point where eBay may need to make an official response regarding it. It's like, in my opinion, I think it's one of the biggest things that may happen before eBay open. Possibly even longer than that. It's kind of crazy. You guys are going to see it a little bit later tonight. I've been actively working on some stuff here in the background. I haven't really talked with everyone about it, but it's going to be interesting. What the heck happened there? But yeah. Hello to Dr. Jan Simpson. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me at the swap meet. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later when the show starts up. Tyler Nichols, your comment did not come through. I don't know why you sent over a period, but if you want to send over a hello, we'll be happy to say hello back to you. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a big deal. But then again, it's very difficult to look at your own content and to be able to be as subjective as you would like, to be able to I don't know, have the perception that the average viewer might have. Because I know some people, they really care about the exposed culture, or they care about learning, I guess the conspiracy culture. But at the same time, I feel that eBay sellers have a right to know things that are happening without having to dig for it. I think it should be surface level. especially if we're giving them our money. You know, if we're giving them our money, then I think we need to know what's going on. Adam says, I usually go live at 3 p.m. Eastern. I don't even know what that is. Eastern Standard Time. And Adam, if you want sometime, maybe just have you come on live here with me. You know, if you crank out good content, and I don't want to sound rude, but nobody watches anyone else's content within the industry. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I crank out great videos, and some of the people that like know me personally, who are also resellers, we just don't watch each other's stuff. So I don't know. Beth Bryant, first time catching me live. Well, thank you, Beth. I appreciate you tuning in. Everyone say hello to Beth. Let's make her feel special tonight. I see you're a fan of birds. I just saw your channel. I just jumped over there. You're gonna like one of our gags that we have later tonight as well. I've built some stuff into the show that we haven't used before, so it's gonna be very funny. And tonight's show is gonna be an interesting one. And I know I keep saying that, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Hello to you, Robert. Thank you for taking the time to come in tonight as well. Thank you to all 20 of you who are hanging out right now, just waiting for the show to start. Thank you to everyone who went and subscribed to Adam. Hey, we have another hotshot reseller, guest on the show before, content creator, absolute savage beast, super reseller from the UK in the comments right now. Corey Barlow, aka Power Reselling. Thank you for saying hello to me, buddy. If you guys haven't checked out his channel yet, jump over there, give him the sub too. He's got a great channel. He's banging out some good content. He's been stepping up his quality lately. He's got new shelving, new pickups. Definitely check it out. And we got to get our interview going together again. Now, here's the thing. You guys don't know this, but me and Corey, we shot an hour-long interview the other day. And this guy screwed up the recording on his end, and we lost the entire thing. We only have the audio for it now. So we need to go back through and reshoot it again. So if you want more content with me, it's his fault why we don't have it. So go subscribe to his channel. Leave him a comment. Say, where's our interview at? Where's our bonus content at? Yeah, no audio, just your face. Yeah, we were tempted to do like two faces, maybe like just having them wobble and bobble back and forth in place of us actually talking. And thank you for that, Corey. We gotta get Corey doing live. Corey said he's gonna get his OBS set up here soon. He's gonna make it look beautiful, and then we're gonna start shooting some live stuff together. And I'll jump on his show, and he can get all that going. We need to get him some hours. So we can get the monetization going for him. I think that's the only thing he's missing right now. Google J for resellers. I don't even know what that means. FYI to everyone, Jay is a walking encyclopedia and even nicer than he appears on his channel. Thank you for that, Jan. Yeah, you really flattered me the other day. And the thing is, like, I never really considered it that way until I was actually walking with you, because most people that I talk with, they have like some background in reselling, you know, it's part of their heritage, or they have a family member that's done it, or they've dabbled in eBay, or you know, they've done their own flipping and stuff like that. And to walk around with somebody who is just at the very, very beginning, who hasn't actually started the process, and just to see the reaction as a very seasoned person goes through and sorts through and sifts and look at stuff like that. It was very, very interesting to see that, because I haven't had that type of experience in quite a while. So yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun, but we're gonna talk more about that here in a bit. Key Webco says app animation. Don't know what that means either, but coolly. It's almost finished. Let me know if you want help, dude. I'll be happy to, you know, work with you. You know, there's some people that I'm going to help with their OBS, and there's others that I'm not. But you, I'm definitely going to help. But there's other people that I feel need to struggle, and like people who don't have a desire to create better content are the ones that I'm not going to be helping. But the people who do have a desire to make better content, I will be helping. And yes, Corey is 8 hours off of my time zone. It's nuts. I love this song too. Such a nice jam to get ready for the show. Oh, it's going to be a crazy show tonight. It's also going to be a boring show. I'm not going to lie to you guys. We have some boring stuff that we have to churn through at the top of the hour. But I'm going to do my best to make it as entertaining as I can. And if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask them. I'm really, truly hoping we can get off subject a few times tonight when I'm talking about the boring stuff. Adam says, best to watch experienced sellers haggle with flea market swap meet. Yeah, yes, she got to see some really cool stuff haggle-wise at the swap meet. A lot of free stuff and a lot of shakedowns on pricing. And we're gonna tell a story. I don't even know if we're gonna get to the item today, but an item that was $20 that I got all the way down to $3, and just the look of like bemusement on her face was fantastic. So it was enjoyable. Going to keep it under 3 hours this week? ? I don't know. Maybe. I have no clue. But what we are going to do is we're going to start chopping the show up, and we're going to be uploading individual videos to YouTube for people who don't want to watch the whole thing. So we're going to have our segments on individual stories, and then our segments on pickups and stuff like that. And I'm going to break it apart. And I might even upload it to a second channel. I haven't decided yet. But I don't want to overwhelm people with content or have them miss out on the midweek content. So I may just take one day and upload 7 videos. But like I said, I don't want to destroy people's timelines. I don't want people unsubbing because there's too much junk. Yeah. Jay, if you do a 5-hour show, I will sleep now and wake up at 6 and super chat $100. Add that's a promise. Okay. I can stream for 6 hours for $100. I'll do it. Yeah. And you think I'm kidding, but I will. Now you need to get your rest, man. We got 60 seconds till showtime. Where is everyone? We only got 21 people in here, I think. Do we even have that many? I know that was our peak concurrent a second ago. We got 23 people watching. Holy cow. Cooly. Let's make the most of this. Let's get my notes ready, guys. I got so many notes. Those of you who don't know, my notes are generally 5,000 to 10,000 words long, and they're color coded and sorted and everything, so that way I'm able to keep track with the show. And who are the 2 absolute horrible people who dislike this video already? I'm going to second what Bearded Picker said. He said this on his timeline. He's like, I feel bad. He's like, I feel sorry for the people who go out of their way and just dislike my video because they have nothing better to do with their time. It's real unfortunate. We're going to give everyone a couple more seconds to get in here real quick. And it would be nice if there's 23 likes, but we'll wait it out. I think maybe people are waiting until I do that really cool animation and they fall on screen. They're going to feel a little more motivated to click that like button. So are we ready to do this? Is this what we're going to be doing now? Are we gonna start this? Okay, let's do this. What is going on, guys? My name is Jay Craft with the Facebook group Bolo, Rama, Pickers Lounge, and I'm coming at you live from beautiful Bakersfield, California. Today is April 7th, 2019, and boy, oh boy, do I have a big show in store for you today. We had so much happen this week, not only here, not only online, also in Fresno, just a ton of stuff happened. It's a crazy week. We're going to be taking a look at what happened with PayPal. We got some fee increases. We have some fines. We're going to be talking about something new that a lot of you guys don't know about and may not have heard about, called PayPal Cash, and why you need to know this, and why it's so important that you know this, and why nobody else is talking about it. Blows my mind. We're going to be talking too about Facebook groups, and this is something I mentioned before. We're going to talk about the pros, the cons of Facebook groups, which ones you should be using for your reselling and which ones you're going to want to avoid. We're not going to be naming out groups in specific, but we're going to be talking about traits and characteristics and why, I know it sounds crazy, why bad advice can get you wrapped up into some lawsuits and things that you're going to want to avoid. On top of that, we're going to be taking a look at my eBay Revealed Part 2 trailer tonight, and we're going to be uncovering some dirty secrets I don't think eBay wants us to be talking about, just like we did with our last eBay Revealed video. On top of that, I'm going to be showcasing some items that I picked up over the last 7 days, what I paid for them, why you should buy them if you see them, and just how much money can be made in a couple of hours of genuine, real work out in the field. So thank you so much to everyone who took the time to be here tonight. We're going to have a wonderful time. And I always say this, I understand taking your time out of your day as a reseller, as a picker, even myself. I got into words with somebody the other day. I was talking with them about our production cost, and they were talking about the amount of money that they have made, and I was telling them, I'm like, I'm not necessarily asking you what you made. I'm just simply explaining. Doing this show is a very expensive venture, not just because of all of this stuff around me, but it's an expensive venture because you're taking time out of your day to shoot footage, to create slides, yada yada yada, all those things that go into it, but it's a two-way street. All of you guys are taking time out of your day as well, and I want to thank you for that. I've said before, there's so many fantastic options on YouTube of things that you could be watching right now. Any skill you want to learn, but you've chosen to give your time to me tonight, and that means so much to me. I got an opportunity this week to travel down to Fresno, and I've gone back to my hometown, I'd probably say 5 or 6 times since I've left over the last 4.5 months now, and each time has been great. And this time I decided to spend an extra day down there, so I was down there for 3 days and 2 nights, and I got to connect with a ton of friends, and I also got to do a little meet and greet over at the Sunnyside Swap Meet. Met up with a friend named Susan, and then also met up with Jan, who's in the audience tonight with us. Those of you who are watching this later, this is a live show that happens every Sunday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and if you're watching this later, I encourage you to come join us on Sunday. But I went and did that and picked up some fantastic items and had an absolute blast. And then after that, I went over to a comic book convention happening over at Fresno State, over at the college down there in Fresno, and got to meet up with some amazing personalities as well as some people that I've done business with in the past. And it was just a wonderful experience to be able to reconnect with the owners of Blue Shell Gaming and be able to get some genuine feedback about the production that I create. I heard some really inspiring things regarding my content. Rick, the owner of Blue Shell, one of the owners, said that he enjoys my content because I don't use ums and ahs. And I had never really thought about that, never really given that much context or thought. But I suppose it's a thing that irritates me when I hear other content creators stammer and struggle. And I understand, certain people are going to have a little bit more ease with it than others and no hard feelings to them. And then another person of the group, I believe his name is Junior, told me that he has actually gained a lot of knowledge from watching my content. So it was just very nice to be able to have that very human interaction, which I consider this to be a very human experience. I talked with somebody earlier in the week regarding value within commodities, and obviously that's a thing you talk about as a reseller, and I've said that I understand that the commodity markets is going to be something that's going to exist forever, but I feel that the human is going to be, the human talent, the human ability is going to be the next great commodity over the next 100 years. Certain things can be replicated and stamped out by machine year over year, day over day, but quality characteristics and traits that people desire and want to interact and be a part of and be with, those are things that are going to be difficult to replicate. And I can see human equity really, truly moving up as far as things that brands are going to be looking for in the future. So I say if you're somebody who banks on your human potential for a living, you're a presenter, you're a creator, you're a commentator, you're an influencer, you're a life coach, a mentor, a motivational speaker, if you're any one of those types of things where being a fantastic human is important to you, I'd say make sure you sharpen your tools as sharp as you can get them and really maximize your human potential moving forward. But it was a fantastic trip down to Fresno. And I also got some work done. I also got to cover some important news. I also got to get some good editing done on some content too. So, with all of that out of the way, we got a whole lot of news to look at today, guys. Just more news than you can imagine. And it's going to be interesting. So hello to everyone as well. Let me see what we have going on here. Hello to you, Adam, as well. He said, I just spent $50 for prizes for my 500 subscriber drawing. Adam Exploits is trying to get to 500 subs. Just so you know, before the show starts each week, we welcome other content creators to come on and let people know about their channel. Once the live show does start, though, we ask that we keep everything on topic with the news and the show, of course. And hello to everyone else who's tuning in. And also a very special thank you to our moderators, Pam and Mindy, this week as always. I also want to preface before I get into the news that we originally had the Amazon tax lawyers booked for this show tonight. Unfortunately, after making multiple attempts to reach back out to them to confirm a scheduled appointment for this Sunday, it wasn't until 2 days ago in the morning that we had actually heard contact back. We attempted to reach them 6 times over the course of 2 weeks with no response. I received a 4 a.m. response, at which I responded back at my time, 9 a.m., and we were unable to connect the dots. I do want to state that it was Amazon seller lawyer CJ Rosenbaum. You may have seen their ads on Facebook. It was just very unfortunate that we were unable to complete an arrangement that we had confirmed with them. So I do want to say this, kind of put this out there. Be very mindful of who you work with, especially if you're going to be giving them large sums of money. If you have a difficult time reaching out to them, especially when you're trying to do business with them, it can be a sign of a company you may want to be careful spending money with. So let's go ahead and head on over to our main slideshow. We can also see here at the bottom, thank you to Roger for his $2 super chat during the pre-roll. And then also a huge thank you to all of our patrons. We'll be talking about them here shortly as well. So, oh no, let me get I got to click on something here on my show really quick. There we go. So first up, guys, you guys have heard about it already. It's all over the internet. It's all over the groups. We got some changes happening to PayPal. We're going to be looking at fees. Brand new fees coming to PayPal, and the changes are going to be starting on May 7th, 2019. If you guys haven't heard about it yet, the big thing that everyone's hooting and hollering about is the fact that when you do a refund now, whether it's a sale through eBay, whether it's a sale through your private portal, whether it's a sale through a credit card reader, whenever you have to do a refund for any reason, you will no longer be receiving your fees back. So that 2.9% plus 30 cents, you will no longer be getting it back. Now, I understand the outrage. I totally get the outrage, but I want to lay out some examples for you. Now, we've already dealt with this before. We've dealt with the fact that when it comes to getting your refund back, you would always have that 30 cents taken away from you. That was just the cost of doing business. That's what they would do. They take the 30 cents from you and say, like, you did a transaction, this is what we're going to charge you. But I want to ask you something. If you were to go to a bank today and you were to initiate a wire transfer to someone across the world from you, and you were to pay your fees to get your money sent to that person, and then the person who's receiving the money says, you know what, hey, I actually didn't need the money. I thought I was going to need it, but it turns out I've got money in another account that I can use. I'm just going to go ahead and send it back and cancel it out. Would the bank let you kick that transfer back and not charge you any fees? Maybe with a little bit of finagling, maybe if you knew the bank really well or you were a very high volume person. But if you were just the average Joe, which 99% of us are, just the average person, you would pay the fees in both directions. Now, I've always considered it a courtesy that PayPal had a system in place where we only paid fees once, where you're only paying it the one time you did the transaction. Because any other place you go to a bank and you do this type of transaction, you're going to be paying fees in both directions. It's normal. It's natural for that to happen. So with this change coming, I get the outrage. No one wants to lose money. No one wants that to happen. And I even have an example for you too of what that's like over on my next slide. So if you were to do a transaction with somebody and let's say the transaction was $20 and you had to cancel it out for some reason. Or let's just say somebody goes through and they buy an item from you for $20, and before you even pack the bad boy up, they send you a cancellation request. Now before, some people didn't even know this. If you cancel that transaction for them, your 30 cents is gone already. It's immediately gone, and there's nothing you can do about it. Obviously, you can call and you can fight it, but there's no quick button to press. There's no easy mediation to get your 30 cents back. And you know what? Sometimes I'm really petty, and I'll message the person and say, I want my 30 cents back, or I'm not going to approve your cancellation. Does that sound ridiculous? Sure, but people shouldn't be canceling out transactions on stuff if they've already committed to the process. Now, if there's something wrong and maybe they got a model number wrong or something like that, sure, whatever, let it go through. Before we had recourse, do you remember what the recourse was before? It was our restocking fee. And it was a very, very valuable tool to us because it allowed us to recoup not only our 30 cents, but it allowed us to recoup some of our shipping cost in both directions. And it was almost about a year ago now to the day that eBay pulled the plug on this restocking fee. Why? I don't really know. Was it affecting sales negatively? Were they dealing with too many customer service issues with people who didn't want to pay these restocking fees? It's really, really hard to say, but I wish it would come back. Because if it would come back, I think people wouldn't be as upset about this. I think a lot of the frustration comes from the fact that people are unable to recoup their money right now. I'm sorry, guys, I'm having a little technical difficulty over here. So, people are unable to recoup some of that cost. It's very, very frustrating. I understand it. And you compound that with the fact that eBay is a brand that currently, right now, caters to buyers. So what do you do on eBay when you sell an item and the transaction goes through, you ship the item out, you've paid your shipping costs, consumer gets the item and they open up a dumb claim, like a really dumb claim. I saw one circling the Facebook groups this week that said, the helmet that I bought wasn't as red as I would have liked. Okay, color claims are very subjective. And he even went as far as to say that this is the reddest helmet that the manufacturer makes. They don't make a redder one than this. And the consumer still wasn't happy with their purchase. So it was an INAD, item not as described claim. What happens in every single INAD that you're ever going to do? They're almost always going to be sided with the buyer. So not only does he lose his origin shipping, he's going to lose his return shipping. He won't even get to decide whether or not he takes that return back. Even with no returns turned on, he doesn't get to make that decision. eBay decides for you that you are going to get taken to Hose Town and you're going to lose your fees in the process. I'm not okay with this. That does not sit well with me. And we've talked about other brands before in the past, previous sponsors of the show, Prairie Grit obviously, and how they're empowering sellers to be able to have more control over what happens. I really want to see a brand like eBay give more power back to the consumer, especially with changes like this happening. James Barker, shoot that confetti for you. Thank you so much for that $20 super chat. Let's see. I don't know how you can say beautiful Bakersfield, California every week with a straight face. You know what? You know what, buddy? Bakersfield is a fantastic place. I'll tell you why. It's because we have the Buck Owens Crystal Palace. Okay? We have that, and our streets are so fast. 45 to 55 miles per hour average street speed in my town. You get across town so quickly. And we have mountains on 3 sides. How amazing is that? And we're maybe like an hour off the coast, so we get this coastal air coming through. And I guess that's where you go too. There's a lot of towns. Tell me how Visalia looks off the 99. Not too hot. Tell me how Fresno looks off the 99. Not too hot. But Bakersfield also looks horrible, but if you come in town a little bit, it's not bad at all. But thank you so much for that, buddy. That's definitely going to help us along. Those of you who don't know, we're trying to raise some money for eBay Open 2019 this year. I'm going to be presenting you with 15 live shows across 3 or 4 days that I'm out there covering every single one of the major updates that are coming to eBay, including stuff like this, handling return policies. And I'll be there in person, and I'll be barking out my questions, expecting real answers from the people at eBay while I'm there. And I'm going to film as much of it as I can. It goes without saying that any chance that I had of getting a press pass is going to be gone after tonight's show. Completely gone. And I hate to say this, there might be a chance that they might not let me in after tonight's show. And if not after tonight's show, then after my next eBay revealed video comes out. But if that happens, I'm going to work on some type of workaround. I'm going to figure it out. But the thing is, I can't give up what I've figured out and what's going on right now. I'm not going to give up my journalistic integrity just because I might not be welcome at an event. I will figure something out. But thank you again for that. I truly appreciate that $20. So back on with where we were at, guys. How do you feel about that? Because me personally, I'm a little frustrated. Now, if eBay didn't have that type of power to really push me around, decide what was going to happen with my money, maybe I wouldn't be as mad. But I'll tell you what kind of things we can expect from this. Okay, this could be a very big precursor as to what's going to be happening in the future, because they're kind of leading us into it very slowly. They started out and said, "Oh, it's only going to be a 30 cents that we're going to be hanging on to, but we're going to go ahead and give you the rest back, or we're going to give you a percentage back based on the fee. So if you refunded half of it, you would get half of your final value, or not half final value. You would get half of the fees back, and they would give you that percentage back." Okay, and now it's one direction. So you're going to lose your 30 cents, and you're going to lose your origin transfer. But what's the next step? Well, the next logical step is dinging you in both directions, okay? Or you're going to pay your 2.9% over, 2.9% back, 30 cents over, and maybe even 30 cents back. So it puts things in a little bit of a tricky predicament. And we're going to continue onward with fees, but I want to talk about some other changes that are happening right now too. If you're someone like me who has a tendency to send money internationally, and no, I don't have a Russian bride, but yes, I would take one. If you're sending money internationally right now, they've changed how that's going to be working as well. They're introducing a new 5% fee based on the amount you send, with a minimum of 99 American cents and a maximum of $4.99 per transaction. And they're also removing any variation depending on the recipient's country, because it used to vary by country, and now it's just going to be flat rated. Mindy Coy says this is a frustrating, let's tick the sellers off the people who built eBay in the first place. This is ridiculous. And you know, Mindy, I'm going to go ahead and agree with you on that one. And I understand that some people are going to look at this and be like, this is just the pitchfork mentality, and we're just up in arms, and you know, we got our flaming torches and we're just looking to raise a ruckus. But I think Mindy's hitting the nail on the head. The people who built this platform are not the same people who are going to be successful in this platform 10 years from now. And we've talked about the evolution of eBay for so long, about how it's moving more towards that dynamic of new sellers and new stock and drop shippers and major brands. And why? Because, well, there's a lot more money in that, and it's a lot cheaper for eBay. They don't have to service those accounts at the same costs that they have to service the used seller accounts. I get where you're coming from, Mindy. It makes a lot of sense. The other thing that we're looking at right now too is they're changing currency conversion spread to 3.25% over a base exchange rate in situations where you are a sender of money in a PayPal transaction. So this is for people who are doing, international. I don't want to even like put it down to like Forex type stuff, but if you're converting currency often, I have a lot of clients that I work with in Canada, especially with video games, or big buyers of American or NTSC video games. So I will deal in Canadian currency, what do they call it? The CAD or the loonies. I'll deal a lot in that, to the point where I am watching the currency values, and I have clients that won't buy from me when the Canadian dollar is weak or the Canadian dollar is soft, and they will wait till the value goes up. And especially when we're dealing with them covering the 3% fee that's going to occur whenever I decide to convert my money across. Now, if you don't deal with international funds, don't worry about it. That isn't going to affect you, but it's important that we get this out there. And this is something else that I've been stressing too. If you're going to a place to get your news that is only giving you the headline, I don't care if it's a blog, I don't care if it's a podcast, I don't care if it's a live stream. If you're only being given the headlines and then given conjecture, stop going there. okay? Because this update that came out from PayPal is a massive update, and no one's talking about the details. And I'm going to uncover some stuff for you here, and you're going to be like, why is no one talking about this? Why does this keep happening, Jay? Why do I keep hearing headlines, but you keep presenting me with stuff that I'm not hearing anywhere else on the internet? And I'm not just tooting my own darn horn there, okay? But you're going to see some stuff. So now you understand the fees are going to be changed, whether it's an INAD, whether it's a canceled item before you've even shipped the item out, or whether it's a return. Now you're going to be dealing with those types of situations. Why are my slides not shuffling? There we go. So here's your example of your fees and what you're going to be looking at. So it's really going to be impacting people who do large volume. Now, I want you to think globally here for a second. I want you to think about brands that don't operate on eBay. Maybe they operate their own private label, who have a tendency to receive a lot of returns. Let's talk about a brand like Zappos, Zappos.com. Guess what they sell, guys? Shoes, lots of shoes. Lots and lots of shoes, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of shoes every single month. Let's just say the brand does $200,000 in shoes. Now, I can safely assume a brand that does shoes and shoes only can probably take on board about a 10% return rate. It's built into their cost structure. It's built into their margins to be able to take that level of returns, because shoes are very subjective. A size 10 does not work across all brands. So they know what they're dealing with. So if you have a brand that does $200,000 a month and they have a 10% return rate, you're looking at about $20,000 worth of returns per month, okay? And with this chart here, we can see that if they're doing $20,000, they're going to be losing $600 worth of fees per month. Now, if we look at that on a year over year, what's that come out to? $7,200 across the course of a year in additional fees. Now, where are those fees going to be going? Swish it straight to the consumer, guys. That's who's going to be paying for this, okay? Because the brand isn't going to foot the bill, because why? They don't need to, okay? The consumer's going to end up footing the bill, and it's going to be done very, very subtly. We're going to see fractional increases in cost across the board for all goods to offset this cost that PayPal's bringing on. But alternatively, we could see a situation where major brands start switching preferred payment providers, because there's other options out there. We got options like Venmo, we got options like Stripe, and shit, we even got options like Adyen. There's other options out there right now that can do more for less, okay? And the thing is, I'm not horribly upset about paying this additional cost, because for me, and let's be frank, for you, it doesn't really matter. Okay? And I see, and I can't stress this enough. I get the outrage. But let's just say you're a small-time seller. And I'm going to use the number loosely, but it's a nice round number for me to be able to work with. Let's say you do $50,000 a year in sales right now. Let's just say you have 10% of your inventory come back to you every single year. So of that, you have $5,000 coming back to you. So if we look over at our chart one more time, okay, you have $5,000. You're going to be looking at about $150 worth of additional cost over the next year if you're somebody that's doing $50,000 a year. Now, if you're doing $25,000, you're looking at a $75 cost, and that's if 10% of all revenue ends up getting returned back to you. Okay, so between $75 and $150 if you're doing between $25,000 and $50,000 per year. Now, does it suck to have to pay that? Sure. Okay, it's frustrating, but in reality, is it really that bad? I mean, even if we factor it against inflation, if nothing else, and we look at the fact that we've been using PayPal for 10, 15, some of you as many as like 20 years you've been on PayPal, and you haven't had to pay anything for all the times you've transferred money, all the times you've had to do refunds, all the times you've done friends and family, you've gotten that service for free. Now, I get why you get it for free, because PayPal, even though they're not a bank, even though they're not FDIC insured, they're still using your money on the open market, maybe passively, maybe actively, investing it. And they're gaining money off of that. Maybe they're doing M&A, mergers and acquisition. They're taking your money that you have in your account and they're spending it to acquire other brands and growing wealth that way. Okay. Now, the thing is, I would be much less upset about paying this fee if, I don't know, maybe PayPal is the largest payment provider in the world, had customer service after 5 p.m. to where I could pick up a phone and call somebody. Even as a business account holder, with not just 1, 2, 3, I have 4 PayPal cards across 3 accounts. Okay? I know what you're thinking. How can you have more than 1 account? I'll get to that here in a second. I don't even know if I don't have my wallet here. I forgot my wallet and my chapstick tonight, but I have some on-screen visuals that's going to explain why here in a second. Okay? But I have 3 different PayPal accounts right now, and I can't speak with somebody after hours. If somebody hijacks my account tonight, okay, and they're doing all kinds of horrible stuff with my money, what do I get to do? I get to submit a web form and close my own cards out, and then try and get a representative on the phone in the morning. That's horrendous. You want to talk to somebody right then when something happens, right? You want to know that there's somebody there who cares about your situation, who's going to be willing to help you, right? It's only fitting. Enough of that, though. Enough. And because here's the thing, guys. I hate to say this. We're going to have to keep talking about PayPal. Okay, there's a little bit more going on right now. Again, I don't know why nobody's talking about this. Why is no one talking about PayPal Cash? Okay. I got some stuff I got to talk with you guys about. We got some changes coming to the platform by March 29th. We're going to be using the phrase PayPal Cash account. This is something that's going to affect 100% of you. Anyone who has a PayPal account needs to listen and understand this information. I will be reading verbatim off of the press release regarding this and following up with additional details after. At Aaron, can you bring me my chapstick? I wish somebody would bring me chapstick right now. I would pay a crisp $2 bill right now for some chapstick. So, this is direct from the press release. As a result of new regulations issued by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau in Washington, D.C., coming into effect April 1, 2019, we are making some changes that will affect consumers who want to hold and use balance with PayPal. Okay, I want you to understand what I just said there. Pat Sands, it's Pat, the reseller, and I'm present and accounted for. Thank you, Pat. So, if you want to hold and use a PayPal balance, okay, you will need a balance account which will be linked to your current PayPal account. PayPal will offer 2 balance accounts, PayPal Cash and PayPal Cash Plus. Information about both of these types of accounts can be found in the PayPal Cash and PayPal Cash Plus terms and conditions. Good luck with that one, guys. And here's the thing. I will talk with you about as much of it as I can talk about tonight. More details will be coming soon, but you will have a firm understanding of what's happening by the time you are leaving. If you are an existing PayPal account holder and we have already verified your identity, we will establish and automatically link a PayPal Cash Plus account to your current PayPal account. Information about your PayPal Cash Plus account, including your balance amount, will be easily available using the existing PayPal login. Okay, those of you who are not following along, and no disrespect to you, it's very complicated and very churny. You will need a PayPal Cash account to be able to use your PayPal balance. Okay, PayPal will make one for you if you don't have one. Now, I do recommend you go make one yourself now. Okay, you can go to the website, not now. Wait till after the show, please. But I recommend that you go make one now. We will have details on our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Bolo Rama. You can visit our Facebook group for details. This week, we will be posting an article up to explain how to do that. Okay, for all consumer PayPal account holders, if you want to hold and use balance, in addition to verifying your identity with PayPal, you will need to set up a balance account which will be linked to your current PayPal account. There are no charges, or excuse me, let me repeat that. There are no changes to any other PayPal fees at this time. They say we are also making 2 other changes. We are changing the time period for providing you with advance notice about important changes to your PayPal agreement, and we're bringing it down to 21 days, and we're clarifying how we want to convert currency. This is the update, the full thing of it. So I've typed up an explanation, okay, that kind of explains a little bit more so you can kind of digest what's going on. I'm going to read through some of these comments real quick and then kind of break it down a little bit further. Okay, Chris the Goose. Is this only with use of their debit cards? No, this will be all encompassing. If you wish to use your PayPal balance, you will need to have a PayPal Cash card. And I am not 100% regarding the ability to make PayPal purchases online, but there is some FDIC stuff that is happening. We have some stuff going on with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that we're going to be getting to on the next slide. And I apologize. I know this is incredibly boring, but this is stuff that we have to get through. And if you think that me talking about this is boring, and I want to clarify this, if you think that me talking about this is boring, I want you to imagine the 8 hours I spent reading through articles, reading through press releases, calling people on the phone at PayPal, and making these dumb slides to talk about these ridiculous changes that are happening right now. Just want to throw that out there, okay? So, if you have, let me read the rest of these comments real quick. Already have a PayPal business account. That's just like instant money when I sell something. It was just like instant money. You will need a PayPal cash account. I have a PayPal business account that will no longer be good. And I want to clarify too. This is my interpretation based solely off what I'm reading from their update. And I have an expanded explanation that's going to give you a little more information too. Perfect perf finds. Hello, Jay. Is this for a business PayPal account? This is going to be for regular as well as business. So it says if you have a personal account and you have confirmed your identity with PayPal before the 13th of March 2019, no action will be needed to be taken as PayPal will be making your PayPal Cash account for you. If you don't have a PayPal Cash Plus account after the 29th of March and don't want to hold a balance in your PayPal account, you don't wish to have money in your PayPal, then you don't need to do anything, okay? A lot of us do want to keep money in our PayPal, though. This is very important. You will still be able to receive money with a personal PayPal account and transfer it to a linked bank account or debit account, but you will not be able to hold and use a balance in your personal PayPal account, okay? This is verbatim. If you have not received a PayPal Cash Plus account on or before the 29th of March and want to hold a balance in your PayPal account, then you will need to set up a PayPal Cash or PayPal Cash Plus account after the 29th. Now, I have some details regarding what the difference between the Plus and the base account are, but as of right now, it's not necessary for anyone to know, so I've held back on creating information for that, but I can promise you as the change gets closer and as everyone realizes what's going on, because no one's talking about this, once everyone becomes in the know and it starts becoming more relevant and more people are seeking out that information, I will create the slides for that and we will talk about that more. Okay. After the 29th of March, if someone sends you money and you don't yet have a balance account, okay, if you don't yet have a balance account, you'll see an accept the money button. Once you click on it, you'll see two options: transfer it to your bank or keep it in PayPal Cash account. Click keep it in PayPal Cash account and follow these steps to get set up with your PayPal Cash. So what that means, the way I understand it, is that you will not just be able to casually use your account until you get a PayPal Cash card. Now, this is what an image of the PayPal Cash card looks like. I have one, okay? I got one a long time ago. And I'm going to say this. There is benefits to it. It comes with a routing and account number. So if you ever wanted to do business online and you've wanted to have a routing and account number and you didn't want to use your bank's routing and account number, this is a fantastic alternative. Now, I must preface this and say, PayPal funds are not FDIC insured. So if they collapse for whatever reason, okay, that's on you. Now, I'm not, trying to create a 1920s rush or anything. We've talked about this before. How much money should I keep inside of my PayPal account? And I would say 2 months worth of operating costs. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, and I must preface that for legal purposes. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a tax advisor. The way that I like to conduct business is to keep 2 months worth of expenses within my PayPal account. What does that mean? 2 months worth of eBay fees, okay, 2 months worth of shipping costs on average, and then 2 months worth of return expenditures. And we can, if you guys want, I'll do a segment and I'll cover a little bit more of that. Well, I'm going to catch up on comments real quick. Hello to Landshark as well. Aaron Kluge says, explain it to the plebs. I appreciate you using the word plebs. A lot of people, I will need to explain plebs to everyone else as well. Pat Sands says, I run everything off PayPal business cards, all my payments All of everything runs off that card. I don't even have a bank account. Yeah, you're going to need a PayPal cash account. As far as I understand, based on what I've been talking about tonight, Pat Sands, that's the exact card I have. Good. So does this mean that we won't be using our business card then? Now here's the thing, okay? I'm a little bit confused regarding exactly how they want to do it. I don't know if having a PayPal cash card then enables you to use your PayPal business debit card, or if your PayPal debit business card simply acts as a proxy to be able to transfer money over to your PayPal cash card. It's very, very vague and very confusing, and it's because this is a month out. We got a little bit of a ways before we get to there. So we're going to figure it out as we go along, but it doesn't cost anything, so I recommend you go out and get your PayPal cash card. If you know somebody who needs to know this information, which is going to be every single person who has a PayPal account needs to know this, okay? Let them know about this video. I'm going to stop real quick and plug. Guys, click the like. Oh, look, my like is busted. Who broke my likes? Come on, guys. Who broke them? Let me see if we can fix this. I hate it when... There we go. Hey, look at those likes are moving again. Let's try that one more time. Yeah, there we go. If you guys haven't done so yet, please like the video. It really helps out the channel. And for some reason, if you aren't subscribed, subscribe. I kid you not. I talk about stuff like this every single Sunday. Blows my mind that other people aren't talking about this yet. So go subscribe to the channel. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, guys. So we need to talk a little bit about why this is happening. Okay? No one has talked about the reasoning behind this. And now, if I'm wrong, if you guys have read an article that's covered this, by all means, put me on blast right now. I didn't see e-commerce bites cover this. I didn't see any other YouTubers that dropped into my timeline cover this. We're going to talk about my feelings as to why this actually happened, okay? And I think the reasons are a little bit varied, but there's one thing. When we know that a company loses a lot of money, what do? They try and recoup their money. Well, what happened to PayPal to cause them to lose a lot of money? Well, they got hit by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau for a lot of money. They're going after them for $25 million right now. Chris the Goose, nail on the head, always follow the money. Yes, sir. That is 100% true. Always follow the money. So we're going to talk a little bit right now about what happened. And I get it, guys. I get it. This is going to be really, really boring. Really boring. And I'm going to power through this. This is some important stuff to know, but it is long. It is so long. But I'm going to power through it as best I can. For those of you who simply can't handle this right now, I called and asked a cash card, and they told me to buy one at Family Dollar. No. That's a prepaid card, Ursula. A cash card is coming to you through PayPal themselves. You're going to want to register for one online. I believe it's paypal.com/cash. I'm not positive, though. And like I said, our page will be producing an article for you later. So for those of you who simply cannot handle hearing this right now, I have provided some alternate entertainment while I read through this. So here's your alternate entertainment. Okay, you guys go ahead and enjoy that. I'm going to read through this, okay? Today, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has filed a complaint proposed consent order in the federal court against PayPal Inc. for illegally signing up customers for its online credit product, PayPal Credit, formerly known as Bill Me Later. The CFPB alleges that PayPal deceptively advertised promotional benefits that it failed to honor, signed consumers up for credit without their permission, and made them use PayPal Credit instead of their preferred payment method, and then mishandled billing disputes. Under the proposed order, PayPal would pay $15 million in consumer redress and $10 million in penalties, and it would be required to improve its disclosure and procedures. Have you ever gone to try and check out at eBay, and it hits you with the Bill Me Later, or it hits you with the PayPal Credit, and you got to click on the, no, I don't want this, don't sign me up for this option, and then you got to, flip across to the other thing to be able to go through. Well, apparently, a lot of people found that to be deceptive. It says PayPal illegally signed up consumers for its online credit product without their permission and failed to address disputes when they complained. So if you accidentally hit that button and followed through, or maybe a child got on your phone, which has happened many times, we know this from the eBay climate. If a child had gotten on your phone and they signed up for that and they followed through with it, you're stuck with the PayPal credit account, and it's very difficult to cancel it as well. Okay. So it says online shopping has become a way of life for many Americans. It's important that they get treated fairly. This is what the CFPB is saying. And it goes through here and says that they're deceptively advertised promotional benefits, saying things like they were going to give out $5 and $10 credits to people who signed up or used the service, and then never ended up doing that. It says they also abusively charge consumers deferred interest. Alleges that PayPal offered consumers limited time deferred interest promotions, and that PayPal purportedly to let consumers pick how payments would be applied to these promotional balances, but consumers who attempted to contact the company to get more information or request to apply their payments to promotional balances often could not get through to the company's customer service line or were given inaccurate information. Many such consumers were hit with deferred interest fees that, due to the company's conduct, they could not avoid. And there's more. There's so much more to this, but I'm going to kind of churn through the key things. It says that they enrolled consumers in PayPal credit without their knowledge. They made consumers use PayPal credit instead of their preferred payment option. So, when you click which one you want to use, it was defaulting to the credit, even though they didn't mean to. And then they would click the submit, and there was no going back and changing it. And then imagine paying extra fees on top of that. And then they said they engaged in illegal billing practices. Okay. And they failed to remove late fees that were undue and interest charges that were undue, and they mishandled customer disputes about payments. So now we're looking at enforcement action. We're looking at $25 million worth of cost that could be coming their way, and it says it's been filed with the U.S. District Court for the District of Maryland and would have the force of law only if it's approved by the presiding judge. So is that going to happen? I don't know, but it surely makes sense as to why all of a sudden it even says it in their release too. Let me scroll up. Okay. It says right here at the very top, this is the first thing I said. Why is no one talking about this? It says, as a result, and it says changes begin March 29th as a result of new regulations issued by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Coming into effect as of April 1, we are making some changes that will affect consumers who want to hold and use a PayPal balance. So this is a direct response to this action being taken against their brand. We can look at what's going on now and we can say, oh yeah, it's really unfortunate that we have to pay more fees. Oh man, that's really unfortunate that we have to have a PayPal cash card. But where are the people saying why and asking the questions and figuring that out? So I'm going to look at these comments here. Let's see what we got going on. Aaron says it's getting juicy. It gets very juicy in here today. And we're just scratching the surface on what's going on, guys. I know it's 5:45 already, my time, 45 minutes in, and we're only on our third slide. There's just so much to talk about. Let's say, thank you for putting out that link, Pam. They wrote me into it, and yes, they're going to give you stuff, then 40% interest. It was horrible. Mindy, be part of that class action or that repayment that's going to be coming. About $10 million of that money is set to be able to go back to people who were negatively impacted by some of these actions. Aaron Clue says blockchain is looking very attractive. Very attractive, yes, but unless they come up with some type of user interface, go to your mom or your grandma or anyone's grandma and try and explain what blockchain is right now. It's not user friendly. It's not very digestible. Even myself, I would have a hard time explaining it to people and having it stick. And I think that's why we're not going to see implementation of something like that as of yet. And then Chris DeGoose says, did they straight fine them or class action? And basically it's a case that's being presented to the U.S. I believe the U.S. District Court is what's happening. But all of the notes and slides and everything are going to be available on our back page. If you're a patron, if you wish to have specific notes regarding this story, feel free to send me a message and I will be happy to provide them for you. So we're going to move on to our next slide. Guys, I know this is a little bit unusual. I am going to need 60 seconds right now. I had coffee for the first time in probably 2 months, so bear with me. I will be right back. Sorry about that, guys. I am back. Had to get some water, too. Okay, guys, so where are we at right now? Brady says, I miss movie intermissions, especially 3-hour movies. I get that large drink and popcorn. I need a timeout. 100%. Pat says, I've had nothing but good response from PayPal. They loan me money when nobody else would. To invest in my business capital loan is a good way from the beginning if you're use it strictly for inventory. Now, here's the thing, okay? Like, the PayPal working capital can be a fantastic program, but for some people, that cost is just far too high. Depending on your volume, I think some of the fees can be as high as 15-20%, depending on how much money you're borrowing. So, I don't know. We're not going to get into PayPal working capital tonight, but I do want to say, I love PayPal. The quality of life that they've afforded me by being an option is great. And that's why I do my best to almost always stay neutral in things like this. I don't want to really attack a company just because of policy changes. I don't think anything that they're doing is too far out of line. It's nothing that's really going to affect the everyday consumer. But my passion and excitement regarding this is just for the simple fact that people need to know these things. They need to know that these things are happening. Because we saw this happen with eBay's good till cancel change last month. What did we see? Weeks and weeks of people saying, why can I only choose GTC? All it would require is a simple header in your overview or a simple page when you log in that says, like you click login and then poof, you get presented with, just so you know, some important changes are coming to the platform. I play Hearthstone. I don't know if any of you guys play any games, but whenever Hearthstone changes how some of the cards work, whether they change the cost of the card or the text of the card or anything like that, as soon as you log in, some changes have been made to the game. These are new changes that you need to know about. And before you get to what you were actually wanting to do, you're forced to look at these changes, confirm them, understand that you have accepted them and you know what's happening. So that way no one is left out in the blind about what's going on. So something to think about. Pat sends it worked out to 9% and they took 30% off each sale to pay themselves back. Yeah, which is cool that you can kind of set your variable rate. But for me, like, I don't like the idea of paying $900 on a $10,000 loan. It just seems a little bit heavy. And I know 9% could be great for some people, but that margin just seems a little bit aggressive for my liking personally. I think anything over like 3 to 5% can be a little bit much. So let's head on back. Oh, look, we got our gooses still swimming around. I hope you guys appreciated those gooses. I hope you appreciated those geese that I had, or ducks or whatever they were, sitting there. So guys, next up I want to talk about Facebook groups. I know this is a little bit of an odd topic. Now, obviously I'm partial because I have my own Facebook group. I strongly recommend you check it out. Facebook.com/groups/Bolo Rama. Pam just posted it up there, so feel free to scroll up. But I wanted to talk about this because it's something that it's important to me. It's something that I'm passionate about. It's something that I've dealt with a lot of frustrations about. And I just want to say that there's a lot of pros and cons to doing this, and that not all groups are made equal. Now, I'm not going to be calling out any groups in specific. I'm not looking to start problems or create chaos or have a fourth person dislike my video. Not looking for that at all. Okay, what I am saying is that you have to be mindful of some of the things that are happening in the groups. One, not only for time efficiency, but two, for the safety and security of your brand and what you're doing. Because some of the advice that I see in these groups can not only result in you getting arrested for doing something illegal, but they can also result in you being sued. I see a lot of bad things happening in some of these groups. So I want to give some tips and pointers to help differentiate between different groups online and some of the things that you may want to look for, because I look at Facebook groups as being a valuable tool for a brand if you get within the right one. One of the things I was going to tell people is that you should look for groups that are smaller. When groups start getting big, like stupid big, and we're talking like over 10, 15, 20,000 members, when you start getting into this volume, you really start losing your quality control. Okay, and you start getting to a point where you're unable to read and see everything that's happening within the group. So trying to find smaller groups and trying to find a smaller community is really, really going to help you out. So definitely recommend that you do that. And then just remember too, that with some of these groups, just because, or in spite of the fact that the advice is free, you have to take it all with a grain of salt. Free advice isn't always great advice, and great advice isn't always free advice. I mean, no one ever is going to, argue otherwise to that. So take it all with a grain of salt. I said before that I was dealing with a gentleman who took advice within one of these groups regarding non-OEM water filters. I believe he's being sued by Maytag right now. And it's because he took advice that said that, oh yeah, you just have to wait. I get these Vero claims all the time. It's not a big deal. These things just happen. Just wait like a month and then you can relist it again. Just change up your title. Just change up what you put in the title. They'll never notice it. And then poof, overnight, the brand owner decided to buy all of his remaining units. I think it was like 13 or 15 of his remaining units. And then poof, he got suspended on eBay and his PayPal account got seized. He can't access his funds right now because he got bad advice within a group. And I see this all the time. All the time I see bad advice being given out. Somebody was talking about medical stuff. And I saw someone say, I sell the stuff all the time. You're really not supposed to, but just do a one-day auction. No one's ever going to catch it. Horrible advice. I watched someone else that I know personally send me an email showing their account suspension because they listed a medical device even after I told them specifically, you're going to get suspended or you're going to get banned. Don't do it. I'm not going to give you advice. And then poof, he picked himself up a 3-day suspension because of it. Okay. So you have to be mindful of the advice that you're receiving because bad advice can cost you your account and it can cost you your well-being. And like I said before, I'm not taking shots at any groups in specific, but it's going to be something that you're going to want to really think about. Now, I personally have been banned from a ton of groups, an absolute ton of them. And one of the biggest reasons that I get banned is because I'll place my videos onto other pages. Why? Because a lot of the stuff that I see talked about, I've answered in video format already. We had a lady the other day in a group, and the group was called, I'm not even going to say the group name. We had a lady in a group the other day who had a question regarding shipping. Now, there are some very, very detailed questions that people can ask regarding shipping. Very specific ones. Like, can I send blank cassettes media mail? Okay. Now, that is a very specific question with a very specific answer. No, you cannot. Okay. You can't send blank CDs, you can't send blank VHSs, but you can send VHSs that have recordings and CDs that have recording, and any type of phono record, you can send those as well. Okay? Nothing with advertising. That's a specific question. But the question came up that said, how do I ship an item that I sold on eBay? I don't know how. Okay? Now that is a massive question. That is a huge question. Somebody who has no information on how to ship. How do we move forward with that type of person? What is the best way that we can help that person? Now, at the top of the list, okay, would be to get that person on the phone and answer their, or actually number one top of the list would be able to sit down with that person side by side and help them through the process. Number two, maybe get them on the phone or a video call and walk them through that process. Now, if neither one of those options are available, what's the next best option? Send them a video that has all of the questions that most people are going to ask that explains how to do this. Now, I sent a video out and it resulted in me getting banned. And I initially told the person, I'm like, hey, send me a message. I'll go ahead and help you out. And I provided her with a video because I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to type for 20 minutes to explain how shipping works. And I don't think anyone should because we know it as well as, you know it as well as I do. All of these posts that we're interacting with today, give it 3 days and they're gone. They're completely gone. All the value and information in that post is, you might as well throw it in the trash. You may as well delete every post that's 4 days old because people don't go back and read them. Okay. And even if they do read them, they're not engaging with them. They don't carry value anymore. And the same question is going to get asked again in the future. So for me, the most efficient way that I can help people is by providing video content. Now, if you're in a group that does not allow you to post video content, you really want to have to ask yourself, why? Why aren't they letting me or enabling me to help those who need help? If your content is on topic, like me, I'm not going to post a 2 to 3 hour long reseller roundup for a simple question like that. But if I have a 15-minute packaged video that has the specific answer, somebody says, what do I do if a customer says that they didn't get their package? Hey, guess what? I have a small questions, big answers video that's 9 minutes long that explains every single facet of that question. It's perfectly packaged so that you have your answer. Here you go. Enjoy it. What do I get for that? About 2 cents worth of ad revenue, if that. Okay. And I get the opportunity to show one more person that I make quality content that might be able to benefit them as a reseller in the future. Okay. And what happens? I get dinged as a promoter. Now, if somebody else took my video and put it on there and it wasn't them doing it, they might be allowed to do it. But because I've done it and I want to share my own content with somebody else, I get dinged. Now, even in my group, we tell people you're not allowed to promote in my group. But if you have a video, even if you made the video and it's relevant and it's going to help somebody with their problem, please post it up. You're doing God's work. I appreciate you. Thank you for doing that. So you have to ask yourself, why won't other groups allow me to share relevant content to help sellers out? And if they won't let you, there's possibly an ulterior motive. Maybe they want to promote their own self, or maybe it's a for-profit group. Now, the thing is my group a for-profit group? 100%. Yes, it is a for-profit group. But what does that mean, though? Okay, and I got into a debate with somebody about this. You can have a for-profit group, but what do you do with that money? Okay, where do those funds go? Do they go into infrastructure, lights and cameras and equipment? Does it enable you to go and teach other people more? If it does, great. But if you're a for-profit group and then you take that money and stick it right into your pocket, it's not that great then. So I'm going to say is make sure that the groups that you're working with are fully transparent about why they're there and what they're doing. All of our affiliate links and everything are clearly branded. People know that I've done work with Prairie Grit and Pirate Ship and Honey and Amazon UPC barcodes, and we've had our deals with different brands, and we're very clear about that. So make sure that if you're clicking on links, and I see other groups do this all the time, they will hide them inside a blog post, and they'll have their affiliate links buried inside of there. Be mindful of where that money's going and what they're doing with it. Okay, and again, this is not firing shots at any group in specific. This is me just saying be mindful of where you do your business. Now, if I go to a comment too, if you see a question, you're like, man, I got some really interesting stuff I want to say about this, and I see that there's 70 comments on a post already, save your time. Just go elsewhere, move on. Anything you have to say, it's not going to be read by the OP, which is the original poster. And two, it's probably not going to be read by anyone else because the only people who are interacting with it at that point are buried all the way at the bottom. Don't post on stuff like that. You're just wasting your time. If the person hasn't received their answer at that point, they're not going to be finding it later. So just carry on. And it's a tricky thing too, especially when it's something that you're passionate on. Just move on. You're not going to be doing anything to benefit anyone at that point. This is an important one, guys. We ban people all the time from my group. But what do we do beyond that, beyond banning, is we consult with people. Every now and then, and it doesn't happen too often anymore, someone will post a horrendous answer, or somebody will post up a sensationalized post that has no merit in fact, okay? And we'll pull the person to the side and we'll say, hey, please don't do this, okay? You make everyone look bad. It kind of hurts the operation, yada, 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 please don't. And we'll consult with them rather than just outright banning them. Now, if they post up spam or garbage, or they clearly join just to push whatever they wanted to push out there, then those things will happen. Then we'll go ahead and ban them. But if you're in a group that consistently has bad and faulty advice that's staying on the group, or a bad sensationalized post staying on the group, you're running a risk of being someplace where you could potentially damage your business by taking this on board as fact. Okay, so I just want to say, if a group isn't actively working to make sure that the information that you are receiving is fact-based, you can find yourself in some trouble. Because like I said, there's bad advice going around that can end up getting you sued, end up costing you your business and your brand as well. And then the last thing, guys, there is some expensive groups to be a part of. There's some that are $350 a month. Okay, you might know who I'm talking about. There's some that are $2,000 to $3,000 a year, okay, to be a part of as a reseller. Very, very expensive groups. You need to know where the money is going. Transparency is king. How much does it cost to be in my group? $0. Do you want to help us out? 50 cents a day. That's all we're asking for. And then we show you exactly where everything goes. But we're gonna get to that later. You know what we're gonna do right now, guys? We got something big happening right now, okay? You guys, I know you guys have been waiting for this one. Let me see if I can get over to it. There we go. Guys, it is time. It is time for the eBay Revealed Part 2 trailer, okay? I want to state this right now. Part 2 of this trailer, or Part 2, this is just a trailer for the full mini doc that I'm going to be making. The last one I made had to deal with Orange Connex, a company that is currently owned by eBay and Citibank. The two of them own that company together, who are working together to help Chinese sellers get their products here in America, onshore it, and warehouse it to try and circumvent Trump's laws changes regarding e-packets. Okay? And I know that sounds wild and crazy. All of the footage is there to prove my case. bit.ly/eBay revealed if you want to see part 1. But we're going to be taking a look at my trailer for part 2. Right now, it's going to be very interesting. I got it put together the other day. And like I said, I think it might jeopardize my ability to get a press pass. So this video will also be available later, but we're going to go and take a look at it now. If you have any comments, critiques, or anything, please leave them in the comments. Something's going on, guys, and I really don't know what it is just yet, because we would never expect that a company would lie to us. Hard time wrapping my head around it fully, that I felt it was important that I start recording now, before stuff starts getting taken off the internet. eBay knows who I am. They know what I'm doing. They know about my YouTube videos now at this point. If you've had questions regarding eBay's retail revival, or just how eBay has been communicating with us about things that were important to know, then you may want to stick around for this, because I have a feeling it's going to be very, very interesting. So that is the trailer that's going to be available in 55 minutes on my YouTube channel. It can be viewed at bit.ly/eBay revealed 2, all one word, uppercase E, uppercase R. Pam, could you please provide a link in the comments for everyone? I ask that you please share that around. I'm going to be spending over 100 hours putting together this mini documentary. It's going to be one of the largest aggregations of information that I've ever done before, to expose the lie that eBay is putting out right now regarding their eBay retail revival and their concern for small businesses here in America, which is an absolute and it is absurd what is happening right now regarding that. And if you didn't follow along with the trailer, basically what's happening is I can unequivocally prove what they are doing is taking and supposedly helping all these companies. But when I go through and look at everything, they are doing horribly. And the numbers that they are representing are a very, very small percentage of people that didn't start when eBay retail revival came to their town. They didn't start 6 months ago. They started 10 plus years ago. And they're using those numbers to represent the numbers that they're giving to us, shareholders, and investors. It's pretty scary what's going on right now, and I want to see more transparency. I want to know the truth about what's going on. Please go back and check out part 1 of this, and if you got time, share part 2 with as many people as you can. I'm going to get it on the internet. I'm going to put it out there everywhere, but I'm going to need your help as well. If you have any thoughts regarding it, any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments right now. But like I said, it'll be available on my YouTube channel at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tonight. So Chris the Goose says, just saw a small puff of smoke coming from San Jose, and it's your press pass. Yep, there it goes. And Mindy, you live near Akron, yeah. And the thing is, Mindy, if you have an opportunity to go on site, maybe get a little bit more information, that'd be great. Those of you who don't know, I am going to be reaching out to every single brand that is currently on there now and looking for additional follow-up. I don't want to give any more details. I've unfortunately had issues with other people hijacking my content, and I can assure you it happens every single Sunday night. E-commerce Bytes is going to send out their update, and they're going to be talking about everything that I talked about tonight. So I don't want to give out too much more before the final production comes out. I don't know when it's going to be done. I'm going to aim for next Sunday, but I just simply left it as April of 2019. Let's get that trailer up to 2,500 views. Let's go for that. Okay. So that'll be available at 7 p.m. tonight. Charles May says, eBay will crush you for doing this, don't you think? There's a chance they might. But this is a job that I've chosen to do, and it's important that it gets done. And if I lose my eBay store, that's a thing that might happen. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm not gonna not cover this because no one else is doing it. And everything that I've done has been about this. It's been about getting that information out there. Meredith, you just missed our trailer right now. It is unfortunate, but it'll be available on my channel shortly. So, moving on to the next one. Thank you to those of you who commented regarding that. If you enjoyed it, I appreciate that you enjoyed it. Let's move on to our next one right now. Amazon to lead the modern day space race. So every single week I try and ease up a little bit. I've got my stories out of order, so we're going to do our softball story right now, and then we have one more slide. Then we're going to be looking at some other stuff. After that, my pickups on the week, I'm going to wave my arms frantically because I don't know what to do with them now. Amazon to lead the modern day space race. They're going to be sending a ton of satellites out into space, known internally as Project, I'm going to call it Kuiper. It's spelled Kuiper. Amazon's latest space plan to launch 3,236 satellites to create a network to provide global high-speed internet. While Google is using a balloon to provide Wi-Fi, Amazon's plan is more robust and, of course, much more costly as well. Beyond giving those without good connectivity a reliable network to use, the move would also give Amazon new customers and data that it could exploit in numerous products through a variety of ways. Aside from this, Amazon will become an internet provider, which could be a step too far for regulators and the companies who are likely foaming at the mouth because of the move. Oh man, we already talked about this before, the amount of reach that Amazon has. And I mean, they're integrated with me. I've got obviously FBA stuff. I do my purchases on Amazon. I've got my Alexa in the other room, and I know she heard me say that right now. Do you guys say thank you to your Alexa ever? Is that weird? Because I listened to a guy named Bernie Burns on the Rooster Teeth podcast, and he says that someday he's worried about a machine, what do you call it? Like a machine apocalypse, all the machines somehow becoming sentient and taking over the world. And he says that's why he doesn't kick his Roomba out of the way. He steps around it because he knows that if he treats his machinery good now, that he's going to be in a better position later. Do you ever say thank you to your e-devices? I'll tell my Alexa have a good weekend before I leave, and she'll say it back to me, it's kind of nice, kind of built-in tech. But yeah, Amazon taking over and having internet. I like the idea of them having more reach, but let's be very realistic. What are they going to be doing with it? They'll sell very, very low-priced internet to people who need it. It'll be cheaper than anything else out there. And what's the motivation behind it? Well, now we can sell them an Alexa. Now we can sell them Amazon Prime. Now we can sell them our Amazon TV service. We can integrate another person, and the barrier to entry will be simply having a satellite overhead. 3,300 satellites is enough to create a massive network, and they're not the only one that's going after this. There's actually one of five, so there's 4 other companies going after this goal as well. In a statement they made to CNBC, they said Project Kuiper, Kuiper, is a new initiative to launch a constellation of low Earth orbit satellites that will provide low latency, high speed broadband connectivity to unserved and underserved communities around the world. This is a long-term project that envisions serving tens of millions of people who lack basic access to broadband internet. We look forward to a partnership on this initiative with companies that share this common vision. Man, that is a choppy sentence to try and read out. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. I'm all for it. I mean, there's a lot of people right now that I know on my end, I'll make more money if this happens. Because there's people currently who would be buying my products if they had better internet and nothing to do with their time other than browse around online. There's people right now who have never used eBay and never used Amazon simply because they don't have good internet. Imagine what would happen if 10 million new potential shoppers came to the internet right now. It'd be great. And I know how Amazon's going to pitch this too. I'm not stupid. I think they're absolutely geniuses if they pull this off. I don't know if the FTC is going to let them do that because that's a lot. That's a lot of reach. That's a lot of capability. But I can see them saying, sign up for this for 1 year and we'll give you 3 months worth of Amazon Prime for free. They'll probably do some type of contract promo. Mark my word, right now, April 7th, okay? They're going to bundle in Prime with this internet service when it becomes active. And it's going to be one of the greatest tools for growth that you're going to see from that brand probably within the next 10 to 20 years. It's going to be great. Meredith says Comcast is going to be bent. Yeah, I don't like Comcast at all. I think there's a lot of us that really feel that way. That was one of the other things too. You want to talk about Bakersfield being better than Fresno? We have, what do we have out here? Spectrum? We have Spectrum instead of Comcast, aka Bright House. So we have Spectrum out here. It's fantastic. Fantastic compared to Comcast. Pam says, I program mine to a man's Australian voice. Yes, you can change your Alexa voice around. What's his name? Does he, yeah, I'm curious. Is it Alex? That would be, logical, but I'm curious what his name would be. Let me look at these other comments. It's a little freaky when machines speak back. Yeah, it can be. Aaron says they will remember how we treated them when we need backdoors to take down digital tyranny. Yeah, it's going to be important. I say treat your tech well. Be respectful of the technology. So moving on to the next slide, guys. This is going to be our last bit of news for the day. I don't know why. I'm having difficulties just casually flipping through my slides right now. We have a surprise update to location policies on eBay. This, again, why is no one talking about this? This is important. This is all relevant to drop shippers and people who have been gaming the system to improve SEO and in turn increase their sales rank and the amount of product they run through. I just found some chapstick. I can't tell you how happy I am about that. So, sellers are now required to select a postal option that matches the item's location. Effective immediately, sellers won't be able to create new listings or revise listings where the item location and postal services don't match. Now, this is information that I pulled from eSeller Cafe. They are located in the UK. This is all relevant to America as well as the UK, but the article reads, eBay UK is also reviewing any international sellers who state their item location is in the UK but have excessively high dispatch times resulting in extended estimated delivery dates. The company will continue to take further steps to enforce this policy, including removing of listings, restricting a seller's trading activities, and in cases of repeated policy violations, account closures as well. eBay UK will keep this policy under review. This is all relevant to the US. I went ahead and grabbed a screenshot of the relevant information from the eBay US site. You're seeing that screenshot on screen right now. So here's the requirement: accurate descriptions of items locations such as Omaha, Nebraska, United States, valid zip codes for item located in the US except when using shipping rate tables, freight shipping, or for items that will be shipped from multiple locations, which is pretty cool if you have like multi-channel fulfillment. Now, unfortunately, this leaves enough room for scammers to continue to game the system. Hopefully, eBay will be smart enough to be able to make sure that this doesn't happen. Not allowed is incorrect item location information, such as providing a U.S. item location for an item that will ship from China. Confusing item locations, such as Beijing/United States, or if I put Beijing, California, Beijing, New York, as an item location to try and game the system. Information in the item description or other areas of the listing that contradict the item location, such as an item location in the U.S. with a shipping service indicating the item will ship from outside of the U.S. And we talked about this before, about how I've been taken to Hosetown trying to buy something really basic, paid the extra money so I could get it quicker, get it in 2 or 3 days from somebody in California, only to see that the moment after I bought it, it was going to be coming from China. Very, very frustrating. And then on top of that, different item location and return address locations if it would result in a higher cost or confusion for the buyer. So that last one is kind of a big one. Okay, says different item location and return address location if it would result in higher cost or confusion for buyers. So we see a lot of this. We see a lot of people who have to deal with issues, and they bought it domestically, and it lowers the quality of the customer experience, and in turn cost eBay quality buyers, and times can even cost them sellers as well. So that's all of our news for this week. We do have one last slide. It's the most important slide, guys. If you didn't know, these are all the different ways that you can help out the show. I didn't plug it earlier, and I know those of you who have been here week after week, you get tired of hearing it, okay? But it's important. It's so important. This is how we grow. This is how we are able to keep ourselves on the air. If you haven't done so yet, guys, make sure you like this video. It really does help out and increases our rank within search, and also do us a solid and make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed yet, it does help us out. I know there's 37 of you watching now. It just takes 2 seconds to click either one of those buttons. And if you subscribe right now, I'll even say thank you to you on air because I can see when you subscribe now. Technology. We also have some fantastic sponsors this week. If you haven't heard about Honey yet, they are great. It's 100% free and it'll save you money when you buy stuff online. Whether you're ordering delivery pizza from Domino's or you're making a purchase on eBay, you can get money back. I get 1 to 2% back on every single eBay purchase I make in the form of what they call gold. And then I can spend that gold on other stuff. I have over 2,000 gold in my account, which is worth $20 right now, just on purchases that I've made through eBay. And I get a ton of perks through other things I buy online. Add the Honey browser extension to your Chrome right now and start saving money today. It costs nothing. Feel free to use the link bit.ly/cheapbrowse to install that extension today. Also, if you haven't started shipping with Pirate Ship yet, bit.ly/cheapship. And the best part of it all, guys, check out all these fantastic Patreon perks that we have over here. Direct access to me, 24/7 group chat. You can get yourself a awesome robot on the shelf of awesome back here. Guys, patreon.com/Bolo Rama is one of the best ways to help support this program and receive something back for yourself. And if you'd like to make a one-time donation, jaysgameshack@yahoo.com, or you can click that little gray dollar sign to leave a super chat with us today. I'm trying to give you guys free money. I really am. Check out Honey. And the thing is, too, with Patreon, guys, if you don't like it at the end of the month, go ahead and cancel it out. It's going to cost you nothing, but just give us a shot. It doesn't hurt at all. Thank you to every single one of our patrons who help make this show possible. Here they are in all of their full glory. Let's go ahead and show them off right now. An extra special thank to Pam, Matthew, Pamela, Ashley, Anna, and Joe. Your support and patronage is greatly appreciated, but a huge thank you to every single one of our patrons right now. So, where are we going next, guys? What are we doing? What should we do? You guys got any ideas? I think I might be able to show you some items that I picked up this week. Gotta find some water, though. I think I drink too much coffee. You ever those shakes? That's where I'm at right now. Larry says, thanks for putting your neck out there for us. Thank you for saying that, Larry. It's a little dicey over here right now. Thank you, Pam, for providing those links for everyone tonight. Spin the wheel. Yeah, I still got a pile of prizes back here. I guess I could spin the wheel. Mindy, you want a prize? Let me pull up my rant. I don't even remember what it was called. Open random number generator? I think that's what it's called. It is what it's called. Okay, so we need a number from 1 to 20. What are we going to do? How are we going to pick who's going to get something? Dr. Jan Simpson says, I just saved $20 on a Legion Air ticket from Las Vegas to Fresno with Honey. It came up automatically. Yeah, that's right, guys. All you have to do is anytime you get to a checkout page, it just automatically pops up. So guys, we need to give out a prize. We gave out 3 prizes last week. We still have 17 more prizes back here. If we draw a number that was the same number as last week, I'm obviously not going to be able to give it out. So if we draw the same number, we are going to round down. Okay, so you're not going to round up digits, you're going to round down. So if you get a 10, you're going to round down to an 11. The prizes go in order from 1 to 20, 1 being the largest box, 20 being the smallest box or package in that case. So everyone's going to have an opportunity to win right now. Let's come up with a trivia question. Let's base it off tonight's show, actually. What is something that I could ask you guys? Okay, we're gonna go back. We're gonna see who was actually paying attention. What would be a good question? What is the name? Actually, you know what? Let's make a good one. How much money could PayPal potentially have to pay in fines because of what happened with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau? They got hit with a massive amount of money. How much was that money? Chris the Goose, first one in, $25 million is correct. So we're going to go ahead and spin the wheel. We're going to spin it right here for you. Let me turn up my brightness. You can't see anything on there. Okay, let's spin the wheel. Let's see what we can win for Chris. 8. That's a good number. It's a really good number. Now, mind you guys, I don't know what is in any of these boxes back here. And I know that sounds absurd. We got a combination of FBA returns and some other nonsense. Some of these could even be my own items. So you can see the number. We got the number right here on the front. This one doesn't feel as heavy, but it is in a side of a cardboard box. So there's your number 8 right there. Like I said, they're all lined up. Dan, the CNC tool man, I don't know why your comment got hidden. We're going to go in and show that. Thank you for commenting on the show tonight. So we're going to crack this bad boy open. This is still sealed. This is sealed in the original tape that it came back to me from Amazon. You get to have the contents of this box if you want it, and you don't even have to pay shipping on it. You just got to tell me that you want it after the show. Like I said, I have no clue what is inside of this box, and you get all of it. It could be one book. It could be a bunch of video games. I know I had a bunch of video games recalled, and if it's garbage, I apologize. You don't have to take it if you don't want it. So let's go ahead and crack this bad boy open. Thank you to everyone who took the time to comment. Oh, that's kind of cool. You actually got something decent. A Batman Begins rub and color art kit. It's brand new in the box. That would make a fantastic gift for somebody. So congratulations on your prize win. I remember sending these in, and I thought they were going to blitz out. I sent in maybe 10 units, and of that, I think I only had maybe 1 or 2 that didn't actually sell. So great win. Really, really nice. Thank you for that comment, Dan. You got a good giggle out of me. And Robert Swan, you are running on a little bit of a lag right now. So just make sure, if you haven't, down over here, there's going to be a thing next to the play button that's going to say live. Make sure you click that. And then also, if you guys are on a mobile device or PC, make sure you click up here in the top and get your settings, and make sure you're watching this in 720p resolution. Okay, so your video resolution, get it up to max. Mindy, should we do another one? I'm going to let Mindy decide whether or not we should do one more prize right now, because we got a lot of prizes still. There's literally, I want to get rid of them all, but I know we kind of got to dole them out, keep the excitement and anticipation going. And for those of you who are just jumping in right now, I will play the trailer again for eBay Revealed before the end of the show as well. So you'll get another chance to see that, those of you who missed it. Mindy says sure. Mindy's the decision maker. So let's come up with another question based on tonight's show. During my eBay Retail Revival trailer, I presented a number asking, where are all of these sales? What was the number of sales that eBay has been reporting to everyone? How many thousands of sales was it? It was a specific number about 1 minute into the trailer that I presented, saying, where are all of them? Beth Bryant, first one in, 47,000 sales. Where are all the sales? Great answer. I'm impressed. I'm happy to see that people are actually paying attention to stuff I'm making. Beth, we're going to go ahead and spin the wheel for you. First time catching us live, and look at this, you're going to win a prize. Chris the Goose going for round 2. We're going to roll that wheel again. An 11. I think we gave out an 11, so you might be stuck with a 12. We got an 11. There it is right there. I thought you were going to get stuck with the 12. Okay, so this one, it's kind of chunky. I feel something in there. I don't know if it's one. Oh, it feels like more than one item. Heck yeah, someone's going to get something nice. Let's see what we got. And again, this is sealed. Okay, I don't want to flip it around because my address is on the other side, but this is a sealed package. I have not opened this. And I haven't even gone through and felt them or anything. And you can message Daniel and you can ask him. He says, I am nuts for doing this. And I said, I'd rather just give all the stuff away. I just share some joy, share some love with some people, let them have some stuff. Congratulations to you, Beth. Let's see what you get. And make sure you contact me after the show through Facebook. Don't do it tonight, though. Do it tomorrow. I'm going to be tired as all life. Make sure you contact me after. Let me know that you want your item, and we'll make sure that you get it. If you want it. I don't know if you're going to want these. We have books on tape. We have the Witchmaker and the Iron Staircase. And you can see my little FBA sticker on there too. And then we have the Train by George Simeon. So I don't know what they're worth on eBay. Now, sometimes I recall items, even if they're valuable items, just because I don't want them to continue to sit there and accrue fees. So you can look them up. They're books on tape by what maker? Literally, the manufacturer name is Books on Tape. So, there you go. Those are cool. Yeah, I think they're cool. Mindy, let me ask you, do we have time for another winner? I need to know. If we have time, we'll do one more. We'll give away one more thing. Let me see if I can come up with another question. It's Mindy's decision. It's not my decision to make. If we have time, we'll do one more right now. Okay, thank you, Beth. I will donate those out. We'll make sure that somebody benefits from them. We'll give them to the library or something. Mindy says, sure. Hello to you, Joe. Thank you for tuning in as well. Your brother's in the chat too, or at least he was here earlier, but thanks for jumping in, buddy. So we're going to give away another prize. I don't have another question in queue. What was the last box type that was phased out of use by USPS? First answer is going to get a spin on the wheel. You're going to get a chance to win a prize behind me. What is the last box that USPS phased out of use? It's a tricky one. Tim Russell, first one, Regional C. Yeah. Priority C, cheap ones, top loader box. And we still got our top loader. The top loaders are lovely. They're called 1096Ls now. So we're going to go ahead and spin the wheel for you, Tim. Let's see what we get you. I don't know if you were on last week's one, but a 7. A 7's good. A 7's real good. That gets you a cardboard box. So let's see what we can get for you. This is the one that I accidentally opened a little bit. Okay. But I didn't open it all the way. I only saw the top bit. And I thought there was food in here. Okay. Because they pack the food stuff inside of these white boxes. So I just assumed there was food in here, and that's why I cracked the top. Let's see. Ito says, every time I go to the USPS and ask if they have it, they look at me like they're crazy because it is not a box that is stocked within the post office. You have to order them online. It is a 1096. I'll even put it in the comments for you. It is a 1096L. 1096L. And you can search that at USPS.com and have them shipped to your house for free. So that's kind of nice. So, you can even tell, listen, I didn't open it all the way up. So no conning going on here. We got a good box of stuff. This is a decent one. We got 3 items in here. We got a brand new John Mortimer Rumpole Angel of Death. I think it's on CD. I think it's an audiobook, unabridged, 9-disc, $15 MSRP on the back. Maybe it's worth something still. We have a brand new sealed copy of NBA 2K13. And then, oh man, what a great job Amazon did of taking care of this. I'll have to file a claim on that. This was brand new when I sent it into them. See, this is what I'm talking about right here, okay? This is, you want to talk about the consumer experience. Imagine if you had ordered this from Amazon, brand new, and this is how it arrived to you. Look at this. It's taped with packing tape around the core. How angry would you be to get this as a consumer? Because they would have sent this out just like this to somebody. It's absurd. Guys, we got about a half hour left for our show tonight. And Tim, if you want those, let me know. We'll get those fired out to you. If you don't, you can go ahead and play again in next week's show. Yeah. You guys want to look at some items? We can look at some items. I got a little bit of time. Let's look at some items. I'm going to throw a mint in my mouth. I'm getting thirsty. I don't want to sit here and keep drinking water all night. So, this last week, I met up with both Jan and Susan throughout the week, and we did some thrifting and some picking, but we're not going to be looking at those items tonight. We're going to be looking at those items next week. I think putting a mint in my mouth was a bad idea. Tonight, we're going to be looking at items that I got at the Tuesday swap meet when I went on my own. Didn't even take Daniel with me. I went on my own to the swap meet, did a bunch of sourcing, had to go back to the car 3 times because everything was so darn heavy, I didn't even want to continue carrying it. So first up, we actually have a collection of items. We have 3 items that I'm going to be showing you, or 3 different ones. So we have, check this out. You guys know what's in here. Some of you guys know what's in here. Some of you guys just have no clue at all. We got a really nice, at least in my opinion, it's nice. Maybe a little worse for wear. a motorcycle helmet. Now, I normally don't go after helmets. This one has some of the mic up audio equipment included with it. Now, we have this one. We also have, I think this is an extra cover or accessory with it. We have a second one inside of this bag, and I'm really happy that I got some bags with it too. Same brand, doesn't have the visor across the front of it, but that's okay, and I'll show you why here in a second. And then we have another bag here, which has all of these visors included with it as well. So we've got, I don't know, maybe about 7 or 8 visors in here. You know, the little pull down accessory piece. And then we even have some extra hardware mounts to go with it as well for the side of the helmets. Normally, I don't touch them. Normally, I don't ask about them. I'm standing there and I'm talking with a gentleman. He goes by the name D. He's maybe 70 years old, super conservative, believes in that the New World Order is a thing that's happening right now, but very, very friendly guy. And he's had some of the coolest collectibles that I have ever seen. And he's owned some of the coolest stuff that I've ever heard of anyone owning. He had the original sketchbook that Ansel Adams used as he traveled through Yosemite creating works of art. And it was worth millions. So this guy's lived quite a life, and I'm standing there and I'm talking with him. We're having great story time. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Give me one second. I got to turn a fan on. It is hot. So everyone's enjoying themselves. We're having a great time. This lady comes up and she asks about the helmets. And I just assume helmets are always expensive, and I don't give them any thought or any consideration. And he looks at her and he's like, give me $10 for the helmet, or you can take them both for 15, and I'll even throw in all the visors as well. And I am just like practically shaking with how good of a deal that is. And I just want to like jam my $15 in there, and I want to take those helmets, but it's not my place to. It's not my deal. Okay. And she legitimately needed a helmet for a boyfriend or a brother or whatever. And I really wanted them. I really did. And I'm just waiting, and then I just kind of wander off, and I try not to look too interested. And I look up the visors, the covers, the little slide-in pieces, and they go anywhere between like $15 and $30. Now, obviously, OEM one, authentic ones are going to be worth a little bit more, which is what I feel I was looking at when I was looking at those ones right there. And then the helmets themselves, I think on the low end, we're looking at about $50 for a pretty heavily used one, all the way up to $150, $200 on some of these. The brand is important, obviously. The fact that it comes with a bag, the fact that we got a clean visor with it, the condition of the foam pieces that are on the inside are all going to be important. But I'm just sitting there, just eagerly waiting, and she keeps looking over at me and looking back, and she's like, I'm just not sure. You know, I think I'm just going to think on it for a moment. And she's there with her daughter too. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, my God, like, do you really think you're going to find a better deal than 2 helmets for $15 plus a sack of visors to go along with it? I'm like, that is an incredible value. How can you pass that up? And she wanders away. And I wait until she's just out of earshot. And me and this gentleman, we've talked multiple times. Every time I run into the swap meet, we stop and we talk for 15, 20 minutes. And I walk over to him like, I'll take those helmets, bud. He's like, what? I'm like, bag them up. I'll take those helmets, bud. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. And I hand him the $15 and I bag them up and I throw them over my shoulder, the heavy. And I don't know what it never fails that I buy the heaviest thing possible when I am a solid half a mile away from my car. This swap meet is huge. Now, it's not like Rose Bowl huge, but I find myself all the way in the deepest corner of the swap meet, and then I got my car parked all the way in the other deepest corner of the parking lot, because parking is a nightmare here sometimes. It's at least a quarter mile. It is a long, maybe 2.5 to 3.5 minute walk to go from that booth to there. So I got these 2 helmets and the sack of visors over my shoulder, and I'm walking out, and as I'm leaving, I see the lady, and I see her with her daughter, and she just looks over at me, and she's looking at a far crummier helmet. She's holding it up and looking at it. And she looks over at me, and I look back at her, and she looks down at her daughter, and then she looks back over at me, and I give her just like a half a smile, just the tiniest of smirks. And then I pivot and I continue walking away with them. Because here's the thing, guys. I tell people all the time, the best time to buy something is when you can. Like when the opportunity is there, right there in front of you. Take it, okay? At $15, at $15, I didn't even need to look it up. The scrap plastic is worth $15. If I need to recycle them, I can get my money back. That is a no-brainer deal to go in and pick them up. Have any of you guys ever had to deal with shipping helmets before? I know like the size is kind of obnoxious, but I'd love any feedback you have on helmets. But I was beside myself to get them for that good of a deal. Let's see what we got here. You could have taken her. Yeah. Aaron says, I lug huge receivers. Yeah. Yep. That's the thing people don't realize. Like, they see all the items that I have here, and they don't understand that there's like 5 miles plus worth of walking with heavy stuff through the swap meet. And I would get a basket, but the surface is just so crummy. It's not like it's on pavement. It's not even on smooth dirt. There's tons and tons of potholes and pits and everything. So I try and carry as much as I can, and I can comfortably carry a 40 plus pound rucksack and march that bad boy out to the car. It's just when I have the big, it's when I have the big, awkward, clunky items that really give me the most trouble. Let's see what else we got, guys. I think we got some normal items now, some normal pedestrian stuff that you would buy and sell and deal in. This was a great pickup. This is the Chronicles of Narnia. It's the complete collection. It's a softback with the original outer casing box. This set sells for about $20 online, and it's in really, really good shape too. I didn't even have the need to pull them all out, but they're in fairly decent shape. The cover artwork is nice and smooth. There's no significant damage to any of the covers. It's got a little bit of grain to it, so I'm probably going to clean them up a little bit before I send them out. If anyone's interested in these, just let me know. But overall, for the age, I think they're one of the better examples that you're going to find online. Now, I had already bought in a couple of items from this lady, and they are really, really cool items. I do hope we have the time to get to them tonight, because a couple of them are things that I've never seen before. We've all seen book sets. There's nothing really to write home about that, but like I said, this book set goes for about $20. I'm probably going to aim for $25 to $30 just because of the condition. Because I had bought in other stuff before from her, I asked her, I'm like, how much is this? How much are you looking to get on this? And she says, just $1. And I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you, okay? I really don't want to carry books. We did some volume together already. I'll give you, I'm like, I don't want to sound mean, but I see how much stuff you got here. Can I give you like a quarter on these? I mean, they're just books. And she's like, okay, fine. And she sells me these for a quarter, guys. And this is what I'm talking about. The value of just like good communication and hitting people with that smile and having some fun during the process. You're going to make some bucks. Hey, to you as well, Allie. Thanks for jumping in. But yeah, this is such a cool piece. And this is one of those things that I may even, add to the shelf of awesome. I just look at this artwork, guys. Why don't we get cool artwork like this anymore? My God, it just it transports you to another place. It really does. Let's take a look. We got some more pedestrian stuff, normal, everyday, weird consumer items. This is a handheld metal detector. It's worth $30, give or take. I paid $2 for it from a guy who was bulking out some stuff. We're going to look at some of the other bulk items that came from that sale that purchase that I did with him. Cool items, so I don't know. If you see weird stuff, look it up, guys. I'm obviously hoping that this works, but we'll see. Comments coming in, better late than never, says, holy crud, really 25 cents for the lion and the witch and the wardrobe. Yes, the trifecta. And you'll see why. We're going to look at a couple of items. Some that I paid a little more on, I think. I won't remember until I see them, because they were almost a week ago at this point. And I know that seems absurd that I can't remember what I bought a week ago, but when you start moving through some serious volume, the same exact thing is going to happen to you. You're just going to forget. So, as a matter of fact, here is the bag. This might be our only bag for tonight. It just depends. I don't want to go on too long. I was really pleased to pick these up. Check these out. Look how cool this is. We got some Little Mermaid Ariel figures. We have two different ones. We have the Ariel jumping out of the water, and then we have Ariel and Sebastian sitting on a rock. These are awesome. They have the Tycho branding on the back. It looks like they may have been reduced at some point, and the barcodes are marked out on them. But what I really like about it is that they have, I think these are KB Toy stickers, the ones that don't actually say KB Toys on them. But you guys know what I'm talking about. How cool are these? I paid $1 for the pair of these. Yeah. Pat Sands says, what did I buy a week ago? How can you forget for pallet of books? Yeah, no, that can happen. But yeah, I paid $1 for the pair of these. Aren't these great? I don't even know what they're worth. If I had to take a guess, I would say at least $10 each. I don't know. I know some of you guys frantically look stuff up. These are Tyco. They don't have a year on them. So if somebody wants to look them up, you're more than welcome to. Super, super cute pieces, though. They do have some wear to the backer. You can see that they're a little bit warped. They can be flattened if I was really, really crazy about it. Beth says, KB Toys. Now, that's something I haven't heard in ages. I miss KB Toys. James says, my connection is way too slow for games. I think I'm like 15 minutes behind. I can almost guarantee you are if you're still within the games right now. But I will talk with you in 15 minutes when you catch up to where we're at right now. But, yeah, if somebody wants to look them up, go for it. I think they're going to be $10 each. They could be as high as 20. But at 50 cents each, you really can't beat that. This was the next booth over. This is an Amazon play. Again, whenever you see something new, go ahead and scan the barcode on this. This is about $15. She sold it to me for $2. I tried to get it down for $1, and she just wasn't going to have it. I wasn't going to leave it behind, so I went ahead and paid the $2. Some type of card game. Not much to say on it. Oh, and I remember why I got it, because I was able to get 2 units. That's why. So it was worth the trouble to me. I think I did 2 for $4 on them. Oh, and here's another thing that I got. Same lady. This is a really nice emergency kit, and this is again something that I'm going to be keeping for me. Has an emergency whistle, compass, blanket, fire kindling, small thing, a cord, and a Ziploc bag. I can survive in the wilderness for at least 15 minutes with a kit this extensive. Yeah, I'm going to chuck it in the car, maybe even chuck it in my backpack. I paid $0.25 for this. Great find for $0.25. And then while I was there, I got 2 things. I got 2 items, guys. I have never purchased anything within these categories before. Never, ever. Never. Okay? First one up. Do you know what this is? Some of you guys are going to look at this and immediately know what this is. And other people are going to look at this and not going to have the foggiest idea. I'm going to see if anyone wants to guess. See how sharp you are. This is worth about $25. Okay? And I paid $0.25 for this as well. Maybe 50 cents. We got pager. People guessing pager. That is not correct. Peeper case. Pager case. No, sorry guys. Any other guesses? Okay, I'm going to go and let you guys know. This is for holding an ammunition clip. So think law enforcement. They will have these on their holster or their belt, and they'll be able to stick extra clips of ammunition in there. And it has the identifying numbers here on the back that allow me to identify the clip that this is intended for. And these are worth $25. How nuts is that? And this was sitting there on a pile. I recognized it immediately and knew that this was going to be something to go after. But I guess keep your eyes open if you see something like this. They're always going to have an open top, and they're going to have they're not going to have an open bottom. They're going to have a pass through for a belt, because you don't want something that you can actually bump off. You're going to want to have the belt actually pass through it. Cool little bolo though, but I will say I've been picking for 5-10 years. I've never seen one of these at a swap meet before, but something to keep your eyes open for. And then this. Oh man, this is cool. Look at this. Tell me this isn't like the most Harry Potter whistle you've ever seen before. This says the Metropolitan. That's the branding on this whistle. And it says, I think it says made in England. Yeah, check this bad boy out. And it's got 2 ends to it as well. I'm not going to blow into it because that's just disgusting, but I'm almost positive it works. And it comes with the chain as well. I don't know if this was the original chain that came with it, but it sure as heck looks like a decent match for the piece. This whistle is about a $25 to $35 whistle. People really want this one. It's a really high quality piece to have. And if this isn't a matching chain that was originally something that was supposed to go with it, then I'm sure I could fetch even more money than that. But tell me that isn't cool. Yeah, very groovy piece. It's not going in the emergency kit. The other kit already comes with a really nice whistle. I don't even know if it'd be this loud either. We got a little more time. We'll take a look at, I guess, 2 more items. We'll play the trailer one more time, and then we'll move onward and outward with the outro for tonight. What to show ya? What do you want to see? I'll show you a couple of oddball items. Check this out. Ay caramba is right. No problemo. Radical what's it, radical my French? Or, oh, it says, pardon my French. Sorry, I'm reading it backwards through the sheet. Yeah. This is a Simpsons twin top sheet. Okay. Some people use these as table covers as well. You know, if they're doing outdoor Comic-Cons and stuff like that, they'll use stuff like this. But this is worth about $20 to $25. People are actively buying these. I wouldn't have thought that. I paid this $1 for this. First time I've seen a printed vintage sheet out in the wild. They usually get scooped up by other vendors who obviously use them for the same purpose. And Beth, if you'd like to buy it, patrons get items at cost. You just pay cost plus shipping, and the item is all yours. So it would cost you $4 or something, give or take, to be able to get this item as a patron of ours. Patreon.com/Bolorama to sign up today. But yeah, the fabric could be used for anything, and finding these old fabrics is very, very hard to come by. They don't reprint them. They don't reuse the designs. They just come out with new ones. But yeah, it has an absolute ton of character, and it's still in very, very good shape. I checked the edge stitching, especially around the corners where you got the elastics, and everything's fine. There's no real staining on it either. And this is one of those items, yes, please wash it before you sell it. Be a sensible human being about it. And then I wouldn't be the plush guy if I didn't show at least one plush tonight. Check this one out. This is a Mickey Mouse in, I don't know what you call this, the jumper outfit or something. I know Ito is going to tear me apart for not knowing what this is called. But really, really cool plushie. Worth about $15 to $20. I like it. I paid $1 for this one as well. And now I did pick up a bunch of other plushies too throughout the week, but we're going to have to sandbag those for next week. I am absolutely exhausted still, guys. I've tried having the coffee. I tried doing everything else. I am just beat right now. Absolutely beat. What we're going to do, though, is, like I said, I promise for those of you who just tuned in right now who have been wanting to watch the trailer, I got some DMs from some people asking if I'm going to be able to play it again tonight. I'm going to play the trailer one more time. We're going to look at one more item, and then we're going to go ahead and do our outro for the night. Let's say Larry Lucas says, cost me about $12 to ship from Houston to Dallas. If you're paying that much on shipping, we gotta have a little bit of a chit chat. I can dramatically lower your shipping costs. So we're gonna play that trailer one more time for you guys. Then we're gonna look at one more item. Then we're gonna go close up for the night. Something's going on, guys, and I really don't know what it is just yet, because we would never expect that a company would lie to us. Hard time wrapping my head around it fully, that I felt it was important that I start recording now, before stuff starts getting taken off the internet. eBay knows who I am. They know what I'm doing. They know about my YouTube videos now at this point. If you've had questions regarding eBay's retail revival, or just how eBay has been communicating with us about things that were important to know, then you may want to stick around for this, because I have a feeling it's going to be very, very interesting. Yeah, so there was that one more time for those of you who missed it earlier. As requested, like I said, I got a couple DMs about it. We're going to look at one more item right now. This is going to be the last item for the night. And again, guys, I've changed the outro by popular request. I've made it more ridiculous than it was before. I will continue to update the outro every single week to make it a little more ridiculous than the previous week. Aaron says, this was a really fun and informative show. Aaron, we aim for that every single week. Thank you so much for that comment, though. We truly do appreciate it. Last chance, too, guys, if anyone would like to help contribute towards our eBay Open goal. Thank you to both Roger Kieserling as well as one of the Barker boys. I think it was James Barker. Who do we got here? James Barker. Thank you to the two of you for donating to our cause. We really do appreciate it. So this is the last one. This is a cord. Now, it's a very rare day when I bring a cord into the show and I stop what I'm doing so I can talk about it. But I can't stress this enough. When you see something that's a little bit odd and a little bit different, it warrants investigation. You should always investigate the odd and different anomalies. And I will have a video coming out this week that better shows the process and how I go through stuff. But yeah, this is a very, very thick cable. Here's a finger for scale. It's probably a little bit thicker than my finger. It has these very industrial plugs here on the end. And I don't know if it's a stove plug, frankly. I have no clue. This is the adapter on the back end for it. But it's industrial, it's braided, and I looked this thing up online. It's a $40 cord. People are paying $40 for this thing. So it has some very important application. It might go to a dryer or something. Something where you would need that type of heat shielding, potentially an oven. Yeah. And Joe says that's overkill like crazy. Yeah, it's a bit heavy, but some applications require a cord to this strength. So that's kind of that. Guys, I also have one other thing that I want to touch base on. If you missed last week's show, I want to make sure I start doing this too. If you missed last week's show, okay, we covered eBay's AI integration, eBay's retail revival program, and we also talked about Posh changing tax laws. Make sure you go back and check out last week's show. It is available on this YouTube channel, youtube.com/pickups. We will also be changing our URL here in the future. So it's only valid right now. In the future, we're going to try and make it say /Bolo Rama. We're working on that. Make sure you subscribe so you stay in the know with everything that's going on as well. Minnie Coy says she thinks it's a 220. Joe says he thinks it's a 120. Looks like we're going to have a fight to the death duel. Go for it. Let's go ahead and talk about final thoughts. Last week, guys, we talked about not half-assing stuff. Do you remember that? Before I left, I said, if you're going to do something, I want you to put your all into it. And I said, I want you to go ahead and pursue those projects that you had thought about doing, but maybe you hadn't actually taken the time to get done. Things that needed to actually happen. I'm fulfilling a request for Joe here. He wants to see what the plugs look like. There you go. It's a double-ended, DC one. I have no clue. But, so I said, don't half-ass stuff. I want you to give 100%. I want you to look internally and ask yourself, what thing have you been thinking about doing and thinking about trying that you haven't done? And I said, I'm going to follow up with you next week, and I want to hear about your successes. I want to hear about your progress. And myself, okay, I want to take a little bit more me time. I wanted to spend a little bit more money on myself. And I know that sounds a little bit absurd, but I'll explain more here in a second. But I asked you all to go out and try and do something you hadn't accomplished. So did anyone out here get something going that they had meant to get going? Maybe it's being more accountable for your listing, being more accountable for the time that you put into your store or maintaining your store, doing some type of project, whether it's a personal passion project or learning something new or meeting up with people that you haven't seen in a while. Did anyone follow through and actually get out there and accomplish those goals that we talked about last week? Because this is more than just talking to you about the news, and this is more than just teaching you how to make a couple of bucks. I want to have this relationship with you guys to where we can have an iron sharpening iron. Your presence in my life can benefit me, and I hope, deeply, deep down hope, that my presence in your life can benefit yours. Beyond the business element, I hope that we can continue to have this relationship with each other for weeks, if not years to come in the future. I am not a fly-by-night operation. You will see me on my 40th birthday here on this show. I guarantee you I will be here then. I am not going anywhere. So it's important that we develop this relationship early on and we get to know each other on a more personal level. So I hope you accomplish your goals. Now, moving forward into this next week, okay, I want to talk with you guys about the importance of doing more for yourself. Doing the things that make you happy, but not just that, but spending money on yourself. We get ourselves into this position because of who we are and what we do for a living as resellers that we find it very, very difficult to spend money on ourselves, especially, heaven forbid, when we have to go pay full retail on an item. It really hurts us deep down inside. And you know what I'm talking about when you see a shirt or something that's maybe $25 or $30 and you're like, my God, look at all these people getting taken to Hose Town, paying full price on items right now. I can't believe this. But it's important to spend money on yourself. That's the whole purpose of what we do. Maybe stop back and evaluate your inventory and evaluate your items and say, how much money am I actually spending on me? Because if all we're doing is paying the bills to keep the lights on and to keep the roof over our head and to keep the clothes on our back, everything that we do starts to lose a little bit of its purpose. Okay? I watched this documentary the other day, the most ridiculous documentary I think that you can find on YouTube. And if you find one that's more ridiculous than this, I'll be very impressed. It had to do with shopping cart racing for homeless people who are racing these shopping carts downhill. I'm not even kidding. They were going around trying to find the best cart. Okay, and we're not talking like, going 10, 15, 20 miles an hour. These people were going speeds over 40 miles an hour, riding on the back end of a shopping cart, just like leaned over the top of it and blazing down a hill. And why? Because they loved it. They enjoyed it. It was something that they wanted to continue doing. It brought them joy. And it's very important to remember, through all of this nonsense that we do, not only to spend money on yourself, buy yourself things that you want, okay, but to spend money on experiences that bring you joy. Some people's experiences are really simple. You know, some of us guys out there, when was the last time you went out and drove inside of a go-kart? You know, maybe took your partner out and went and played some mini putt. You know, maybe you went out to the lake, had a couple of beers. You know, just kind of relaxed for the afternoon. Take the phone and turn it off and sit down and enjoy 6 to 8 hours completely removed from technology and just really bask in your accomplishments for once. Because a lot of times we talk about how our portfolio's doing, and we talk about the quality of or the quantity of items that we have online, or how much ad revenue we made, and the network and contacts that we have. But you know who I'm impressed by? I'm impressed by the people who take the phone and turn it off. They take that deep breath and they relax and they just kick back and they say, you know what? Today's my day. I'm not going to worry about getting listings done. I'm not going to worry about that jackass who opened up an INAD against me. I'm not going to worry about the ever-increasing fees on PayPal and the nonsense that's going on with Audion. I'm just going to have today. I'm just going to have this whole day to myself to just do nothing. I'll tell you something else that I find really rewarding. Go back and watch some cartoons. I know for some of you who are in your 50s or 60s who are watching you right now and think that I'm just talking out my ass and just rambling for the sake of rambling because I'm trying to fill airtime. I can assure you I'm not. Go watch some cartoons. Go do something stupid and nonsensical that you haven't done in years and watch how much joy that can bring to your life. Be proactive. Be mindful. Pick up your phone and call somebody that you haven't talked to in a month. Somebody that you care about maybe. But for some reason or another you've convinced yourself you're too busy to take the time to speak to. It's important, okay? And you might not realize it. I talk with people every week, who find themselves too overwhelmed, who say, I have so much to do and so little time to do it. And I have to remind them, every decision you've made in life has led you to here today, right now. You have so much to do because you've chosen to have so much to do. And I understand that each person's circumstances are unique, but please try and slow down. And I can't stress this enough. Even though I'm raising money right now to try to go to eBay Open, I'll pay for your mini putt. I'll buy you some arcade tokens. I have no problem with that. The whole purpose of this is to spread knowledge and happiness to everyone out there. We are so fortunate that this is what we get to do for a living. We buy stuff and we sell stuff. And even through all the nonsense that we have to deal with on a regular basis, I can't tell you just how happy that I am that I get this opportunity to have a dialogue with each and every one of you out there, and that this is what we do to make money for a living. It's fantastic. So don't take it too seriously. Don't worry about breaking 6 figures. This is important to understand. You are rich if your passive income exceeds your burn. And we can talk about that next week. We'll add that to the agenda for next week. Okay? Back around to the people with the shopping carts. There was a quote within that documentary, and maybe I'll source the clip for you and I'll bring it on the show, where the gentleman said something to the effect of, if you're going to trade that time for money, you better damn well know where you're going to be spending that money at. Because if you don't, then you're better off just having the time. Okay? Time is a tangible commodity that's limited, wherein money is virtually unlimited. That's all I got for you guys. And one last thing. I dealt with somebody this week. It's very rare, and I don't want to give anyone any extra attention. But if somebody comes to you with unrequested advice and you don't want to hear it, don't have to listen to it. Even if you know that they know more than you, if you don't want to listen to it, don't listen to it. If you don't like my advice and you don't like what I share and what I teach, it won't hurt my feelings if you shop elsewhere for advice. I want you to go where you feel happiest. Okay? No hard feelings here on my end, but I appreciate everyone who does stay. As I was saying though, let's go ahead and crank this up to 1,000,001. I edited out the outro again. So here's what's going to happen, guys. I am on the 6th revision of this outro right now. And it's my outro that I thank the patrons, and it's my opportunity to spend 1 minute and 30 seconds being as goofy as I want to be. You know why? It brings me joy. It brings me joy to do the outros this way. So we're going to do 4 more revisions on this outro, and then I think I want to do a new one, and we're going to start it over again. Okay? So thank you to everyone who watched. This has been the Sunday Reseller Roundup, and stay for the outro. Don't you dare leave. This is a good one. I'm proud of this one. This has been the Sunday Reseller Roundup for, April 7th, 2019. Please don't forget to share that link. That's going to be live right now on my YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel after this video ends. Click on videos. Take that video. Please share it to your timeline. Please share it to every Facebook group that allows it to be shared there. We need to get attention on this. We need to take action on this. It's important for all of us. But thank you so much for watching. This has been a great episode. It's been a ton of fun having you here. Tell everyone to come back next week. And remember, if you don't make that money, someone else will. Have a great night. Well, hello to you. Thank you for coming to my brand new outro. Those of you who don't know, I am not the best at editing, so we have this green screen and we're gonna make the best of it. So away we go. Whoa! Isn't that exciting? Look where we're going. Wow, we've ended up here. So yeah, the whole purpose of this outro is to be able to say thank you to you, the people who help support this program. So thank you to our base level patrons. I truly appreciate it. Whoa, we're going someplace new now. Holy cow, look where we are now. Thank you to our next level of patrons. I really appreciate it. We got one more stop to go. Will anyone be there? Let's go. Here we are. Hey, look at that. Thank you. Again, I appreciate it. Thank you to all of you. Have yourself a wonderful day. See you next week.